Hello everyone, and welcome to the Hunter Association, your source for all things Hunter x Hunter. My name is Kaige.
And my name is Dylan.
And on this week's episode, we are joined by a very special returning guest, No Operator. How's it going?
Hey, thanks so much for having me back, guys. I'm excited.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Absolutely. Yeah, it has. Chapter
Yeah, it
406.
Hopefully, hopefully we can pray it's not too long before we meet up again,
Yeah.
Yeah, we can hope.
406. That was an eternity ago, man. Holy.
Yeah, it feels like a lifetime ago. So yeah, on this week's episode, we have brought you on because we were talking about your previously answered favorite character, Hisoka.
I'm pumped. I'm ready. My
Hell
guy.
yeah.
It's been a good
That's
one.
right. And of course, we'll be going through our community comments. If you'd like to join in on the community and have your comment read, be sure to comment on the YouTube version on the weekly community posts. Also, make sure to like and subscribe to help grow our community of Hunter x Hunter fans. Additionally, if you'd like to know when new episodes are live, click the bell to enable notifications. If you're an audio listener, make sure to rate, review, and comment on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Also, be sure to follow us on Twitter at TXHXAPod, as well as Bluesky at THAPod, for podcast-related updates and to submit responses to the weekly call-out posts. If you'd like, you can also still email us at hunterassociationpod@gmail.com. As always, we provide timestamps in the description if you'd like to skip ahead to any of the aforementioned segments. So, No Operator, it's been since chapter 406. So, since then, there's been obviously 4 other chapters of the manga, and even though that was a long time ago now, we try to catch up with our guests on what they thought of the story thus far. So, tell us your brief thoughts on those 4 chapters, I guess, and how you feel the story's going.
Oh, man. I mean, I can just imagine, like, already what you guys have already said, but, like, for me, like, it has been nothing but just dread, just waiting to see if we can get another batch of release of chapters, because for that to be what the cliffhanger that we get left off on was absolutely insane to me. Because the thing is, the way that those last couple of chapters went, like, until we get direct confirmation in the future chapters, there's so many things that could have happened, right? Like, I feel like there's probably, like, so everyone has their own interpretation of, is it actually Benjamin? Is it Hulkenberg? Is it there's so many different things that, like, could have possibly went on just in that last chapter alone. And you have the entire game with Marina, which I'm sure a lot of people thought were like, oh, what is Takashi doing spending all of this time on this card game when there's so much more to go through? But that's just part of the reason why I love Takashi so much, which I might have even said in the segment that I sent you guys before, is like, I love that he's just not afraid to, like, listen, if I don't finish it, that's fine. I'm going to take as much time as I need and make sure everything cooks. So, like, it's just been it. I can't wait to see if we do get another batch, because the Succession War genuinely is just, like, such good shonen pumped into my veins every single time I get any kind of new lore from it.
Absolutely, yeah. And it really was one of the most evil cliffhangers you could possibly do, because there's just so much uncertainty. Like, you can't even rest. Like, it's just, my mind, even now, it's always flooding with just, like, what is happening? Like, I gotta know. I'm stressed out. Like, I don't know who's alive. I don't know what happened. It's so anxiety-inducing.
Especially compared to how chapter 400's cliffhanger was in comparison.
Yes.
Like, that was, it was
Yeah,
absolutely nothing. It was like, wow, that's the most, like, nothing ending of a batch of chapters of all time. And then we get 410, and it's like, oh, well, now it's like everything is going down, and now we have to wait, and it's painful.
100%. As someone that, like, I was lucky enough, I think I said this last time too, and not to repeat myself, but, like, lucky enough, like, I just finished my first read through right before this new batch came out. So, like, to not have to wait that long, like you said, with 400 kind of being like, whatever, like, it was nice to get that new batch, and, like, now to end off of that and then have to join all of you guys on the wait train, I'm like, wow, this is just terrible. I don't know if, I'm sure we'll talk about it, but, like, yeah, like, I know there's, like, been whispers or whatever of new stuff coming out, but who knows.
You never know. We just gotta wait for that tweet from Togashi. That's
Exactly,
everybody's eyes
yeah.
are on that account.
Really what it comes down to, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so other than that, we do have a tiny bit of news to share. It's just And then Impact stuff as per usual. That's kind of all Hunter x Hunter news is at this point. But there is a netcode patch coming, which is great because the netcode was very bad.
I heard that was the biggest issue. I didn't play it personally myself. I was like very hyped for it, very excited for it, and then I think the day it launched, I happened to just wake up, my normal early morning routine, just checked YouTube, and I just saw nothing but slander, and I was like, oh no.
Yeah, it was a pretty bad launch in terms of functionality.
It was.
They've identified the rollback frame issue specifically, according to their statement. They're identifying and working on like fixes for that as we speak, basically saying that there'll be an update in the near future for that. So no estimated date yet on when that'll happen, but there is progress now confirmed, which is really, really nice. And the sooner the better, because they definitely need to try and get some amount of hype and like pushing of this game again after everything that happened with launch.
Yeah, it's a shame that it was like a dead on day one, like kind of like I for me, like despite what everyone was saying in the beginning of the like release promotional material, like I like 2.5D fighter games. Like I was a big fan of Fighter Z. So like I was like, cool, I can get into this. I don't care what everyone says, like PS2 graphics. I don't need good graphics.
Right.
If you give me like a fun technical fighting game, that's all I really personally care about. But like, yeah, it's just, and like even because I think I watched it on I watched all of the character ultimate attacks on stream, and like I was like, for a $60-$70 game, what do you mean? First of all, this video reel is only 4 minutes long. That's insane to me.
Yeah.
And just like it looks so stiff, and I'm like, the people that made this like clearly like were just there for a paycheck. That's what it seemed to me. It didn't seem like they were like true Hunter x Hunter fans. Like I just feel like it was so stiff. But
Well,
maybe I'm talking crazy.
It's purely just based off of the budget that was allocated for the game, because the
Really?
developers
Okay.
behind the game are Aiding, which is, if you don't know or if you're not aware, they're the ones responsible for Marvel vs. Capcom 3, one of the greatest
No
fighting games
way.
of all time.
That doesn't
Yeah.
make any sense then. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
It's
I
the
had no
budget. It's all the
idea.
budget. They just
That's
they
insane.
And it's funny you say that they weren't Hunter x Hunter fans, because this project only exists because they were Hunter x Hunter fans. They just couldn't get the budget to make the game they wanted.
See,
So-
and you know what? For someone like me that's not as like in tune on like the pulse of like stuff like this, like it like that shows, like at least to me, like that shows like what like the average consumer really feels like, just like going into it and seeing what's
Oh,
you know
yeah.
what I mean? Like
Yeah.
for someone that doesn't know like all of that, like that's immediately what my first thought would be. And to hear that, like that's like genuinely like that's even more saddening to me, because like for like I hate even more to know that like people that were behind it like actually cared and had passion behind it, and the reason they couldn't put out the product that they wanted to was because of just usually the people at the top, or they didn't give them enough budget, or they didn't give them enough time. Just the same old story that seems to be
Yeah.
the tale as old as time nowadays for almost everything going on, so
Welcome to the gaming industry.
that's sad. I'll take it back. Yeah, exactly. I'll definitely take that back. But no, that if anything, like I said, that just makes things more sad for me personally.
Definitely. No, I completely agree.
But they are definitely trying to make an effort here to get some kind of hype train rolling. So with this new patch announcement, we also got to see a little tease of the DLC. We got to see Pito's ultimate, or level 3. They're level 3. And also we saw silhouettes of the rest of the three characters. They also got leaked beforehand, so we know them anyways. But also now, I mean, what else could those silhouettes be?
Yeah, it's pretty obvious. If you know Hunter x Hunter, it's pretty obvious who those characters are. They're not hiding anything.
Yeah. No. So
But
we'll
we can
be
officially
getting-
say it without a spoiler warning, though, so because it's out there.
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll be getting, I guess, get away if you couldn't recognize those silhouettes. Just close your ears for a bit. But it was Finks, Shizuku, and Zeno.
Yep.
So pretty exciting.
Very
I think
cool.
that's a good lineup. Yeah.
I was
Still have
surprised
no idea
Shizuku
how
wasn't in
Shizuku-
the main game.
Yeah, and Pito. Those are the two that I really thought would have been there, but now they are.
Yeah, they will be.
gotta
So,
wait.
yeah, that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I'm still wondering how Shizuku will work. That because like her nen ability doesn't work on living things. So like, how is that going to make any sense in terms of a fighting game? Unless they just break canon, right? But
Which they probably will.
Smacking people with that vacuum.
Yeah,
That's what
yeah.
she's gonna be
Well,
doing.
yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm anticipating that at least. It's just like the actual like vacuuming part of it. Like, I don't know like what her special moves are gonna be at all.
Yeah, I don't know what her super will be even. Like, it can't work on people. But, yeah,
So-
who knows? We'll find out.
We'll see. Yeah.
Yeah. Then also just a small bit of show news we're gonna mention here and at the end of the show. We are recording, or we're not recording. We're changing the recording time to from Saturday to Friday now. So it won't change a whole lot for you guys. It'll just be like half a day less of submission time because we're recording Friday nights, where typically we record Saturday afternoons or evenings in this case. So yeah, just letting you guys know from now on. I will also try harder to get the community post out on Monday, as I have somehow never done ever before. It's always been Tuesday, no matter how hard I try. I'll make sure it's Monday from now on, so that way you guys have plenty of time to get your responses in before we record.
I'll put in similar effort for the Twitter call out post as well. And then yeah, we'll see how long this new recording time change lasts for as well. Probably at least a couple months, I think, just from our schedules, right? But we'll keep you guys updated if that changes any further. But shouldn't change a whole lot. Just a heads up.
Yep. And also one more piece of technically news. Our first anniversary for the show was last week on the, when was that? The 20. When was it? Hold on.
Very unprepared for when our anniversary was, Kaige.
Oh shoot. When was it? You don't even know, Dylan.
Wasn't it on the 30th?
Was it the 30th? I don't know. One of those days last week. Maybe it was even the 31st. Anyways, that happened,
yeah,
and
go us.
thank you for 1 year. Means a lot to us. And Milu Kitty on Bluesky sent us a really cute piece of fan art that I really enjoy.
Very, very cute fan art. I really like seeing that. That was a nice surprise.
Yes.
Thank you.
So thank you, Milu Kitty. And also, if you're still wondering about the Battle for Owl, it's coming. Leo Dog's cooking.
Yeah,
So we'll talk about that when we can.
We're basically at the finale, so given all the time in the world for that to cook. So just keep an eye out.
All right. That's all we got here. So let us move into talking about Hisoka. You guys ready?
Yeah, let's waste no time. Let's get into it.
Yes, sir.
All right. All right, everybody. Welcome to our character retrospective on Hisoka Moro. The last name that not many people ever speak out loud, but he does have one.
How many times is it even said, like, in the series?
In the series, I honestly don't know if it ever is. It might only be in, like, text boxes introducing him.
That's
So, as always, with character retrospectives, we'll be going through his story chronologically. But in Hisoka's case, there kind of isn't much to talk about that's different from, the series order to chronological order, because we don't know a whole lot about his origin. And that is simply because he's uninterested in it. He doesn't really care about talking about it himself in any capacity. It's just not an important factor of his life. Maybe one day we'll get more on that, but I wouldn't really count on it. I just don't think it really matters, to be honest.
Sounds incriminating to me.
Yeah. Well, we got that. We got that spin-off one shot, right? But we'll be talking about that briefly.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a minute here. We do know some vague things, though, like how he joined the Phantom Troop under false pretenses at some point after the Kurta Massacre, so he was not present for the Kurta Massacre, which is an important detail. Mm-hmm. And about 2 years before the events of York New City, after replacing the previous number 4, who was definitely Omokage, by the way.
Definitely Omokage.
Yeah, it was 100% Omokage, greatest villain of all time. Presumably around this time, he fought in Heaven's Arena and eventually fought Castro, who, after losing, would go on to learn Nen so he could beat Hisoka the next time they fought. But that didn't happen, as you all know.
One of the most embarrassing moments of all time. Hisoka just uses this man's like it's just crazy, man. The fact that he tricks this man every single time.
I know, it's legendary. We'll have more time to talk about that when we get to Heaven's Arena, but yeah, that's a great moment. He then took part in the 286th Hunter exam, during which he murdered 20 examinees. He then was also disqualified for almost killing an examiner during his first attempt. Awesome.
Wouldn't expect anything less.
That must have been...
That's Hisoka
honestly.
for you, man.
It sure is.
I'm surprised they let him take it again.
Well, I mean...
Yeah, that's...
You can be a hunter.
That's the Hunter Association for you under Netero's rule, at least. He just kind of lets anybody become a hunter.
You just get a pat on the wrist, and they said, "All right, try again next year, buddy."
Yeah. Do your best. Also, there is it'd be a shame if I didn't mention this at all, but there is a spin-off one-shot manga simply called Hisoka's Past by Sui Ishida, the author of Tokyo Ghoul. But it is almost certainly not canon, so we're not going to talk about it here. It's neat. Me and Dylan have talked about it before. We apparently had some hot takes about it, though. People were not kind to us in the comments on that video.
Oh, really?
But,
yeah. One of the very few videos we put out that both me and Kaige got obliterated in the comments for. So.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah.
What did you guys like it and they all hated it, or did you not like it and they all loved it?
We thought it was very and every single viewer loved it apparently. So
all of them.
Yeah.
We had a handful of people on our side, but yeah, I guess people really love that.
Sui Ishida is also like one of those authors. They got like a cult, a cult fan base
big time.
following. People just really love him. I mean, he's great mangaka. For sure,
absolutely.
But, yeah.
I love Tokyo Ghoul, but yeah, Hisoka's Past isn't Tokyo Ghoul. Anyways,
That's true.
Neither here.
yes.
Let's not reopen wounds. Let's
No,
go.
let's-
If you
let's get outta
really want to see it, go check out that episode.
yeah, but don't get mad at us, please.
please don't. Yeah.
Okay, so that brings us to the Hunter exam arc. He makes his first appearance in the hallway that will become the site for the first phase of the exam, where another applicant bumps into him without apologizing. Shortly after, the applicant's arms are severed and removed from his body.
On site.
Impression. Yeah.
Yep, it's yeah. What an impression.
It's pretty like telling though, just like out the gate. Like, oh, okay, this character's a psychopath. Good to know.
Yeah. He has no trouble getting through the first phase, or the first part of the first phase, as well as the second part for that matter, but there's a little more to say about that. So the applicants make their way to the Milsey wetlands after keeping up with Satotes, where a man-faced ape tries to pass himself off as the real examiner. Hisoka throws cards at both him and Satotes, killing the monkey, whereas Satotes blocks the attack, leading Hisoka to declare he is the real proctor. Which is the first case of us seeing Hisoka's, bold strategies at play. He's a risk taker when it comes to strategy.
Clearly, I was gonna say that would have been like strike two. He got disqualified
I was gonna
twice,
say
and
that's
it's like,
technically a second attempt at like trying to kill a proctor.
Technically, yeah, but there's a plausible deniability with this one. So
Sure.
and still, not a single conversation after this. Like, hey, maybe we shouldn't let people that keep killing examiners take the test. Maybe this is a bad idea, Netero. Let's rethink this.
Netero's vision. That's what it is.
Open
It's
up
Pariston's
a 3-strike rule or something, All right, 3 strikes, you're out.
Yeah, that would have been smart. For the rest of the phase, Hisoka will play the role of an examiner, quote unquote, with his own I lost my place. With his own prerequisites for letting someone pass. He kills some fodder and eventually runs into Kurapika and Leorio, and also Cherry, who I don't think anybody in the world remembers, but he was there.
Cherry was there, in fact.
Who?
Cherry. Just some guy. I don't know. He was
Joe
there.
Shinobi?
No, you won't have to think of Cherry much for longer.
No. The three of them run away from him, and he acknowledges that it was a smart move, so he gives them a head start. But before the grace period is over, Leorio makes his way back to Hisoka, intending to fight. That's our boy.
Our go.
Obviously,
Yeah,
Leorio
bold
doesn't
move.
pose much of a challenge. Yeah, it sure is, yeah. But during their little fight, he is suddenly struck by Gon's fishing rod. He praises him and knocks out Leorio. He then determines that both Leorio and Gon will make for fine hunters, so he passes them of his own prerequisites.
This is our first.
Yeah, this is.
No, go ahead.
Oh,
sorry.
go ahead.
No, go
No,
ahead.
you go first. This is your place.
Okay. Well, no, I was just gonna say this is our first instance here of showing kind of Hisoka's just motives and just kind of passion for wanting to fight in general, right? Our first little hint of that, at the very least. Of,
Right.
When he sees strength in someone, he kind of has a special of way of going about it, right? So.
Yeah.
100%.
Sprouting buds.
I think it's funny that like he was like, you know what? I definitely would have killed you, and you came for me anyway, so I respect that. And two, does anyone else think this is foreshadowing that Leorio is gonna be super duper strong in the Dark Continent and fight Hisoka? I'm just kidding.
Hey,
listen.
listen. We have been saying Leorio
okay.
will be the main protagonist of Dark Continent forever.
Honestly, it would be his time. It really would be his time.
Exactly.
Everyone else
I
has
know.
gotten it for the most part. For the most part.
And
Yeah.
as
I don't know if
the-
he'll fight Hisoka, but
Yeah. But I mean, Hisoka clearly wants to fight him at some point, just based off of his merit.
Yeah.
Right. So.
right.
That's what I'm saying.
And as we will continue to see as we go through Hisoka's entire story in this series, everybody that Hisoka has an impression on, or like everyone who leaves an impression on Hisoka, generally comes out pretty strong in the end, right? So.
I mean, his Hatsu was decent enough for Gon's dad to steal it, so you know what I mean, or at least
That's
copy
right.
it, quote unquote, right? So it's got to be something worthwhile.
Yeah. Then an examinee known as Gita Rocker. Who could that be, guys? I have no idea. Contacts him to lead him to the site of the second phase, and Hisoka leaves with the unconscious Leorio on his shoulder. So he values him enough to actually just take him to the finish line. That's also worth noting. He doesn't let other people do it for him. He just does it himself.
Real recognizes real.
That's right. The second phase is, I say pretty unremarkable, but is actually completely unremarkable for Hisoka. He does nothing. He doesn't know how to cook, and then he passes the amended version. We don't even see him do it, but he presumably does it easy. I mean, I don't know why he wouldn't do it with ease.
I would really like to see what he was up to, like, actually during that time. We kind of saw a little bit of that with, like, 99, where he was just sitting around doing absolutely nothing. So, you know.
99 adds some scenes of him just, like, moping around about the fact that he can't cook.
That really would have sucked if they didn't amend that challenge, though.
Actually,
that
he
would've
would have
been
found the spot.
Everyone would have been cooked.
Yeah,
Yeah, for real.
I'd have just killed everybody in a rage.
Yeah, he might have. That would have been bad.
Try again
in the
next
third-
year, Hisoka. You
Yeah,
killed
that's
everyone
right.
again.
Learn how to cook.
Yeah.
And you want to know what? You know what would get addressed at the end of that? They would say, all right, no more cooking challenges. Again, not let's stop this guy from taking the hunter exam.
It's the cooking challenge's fault.
That was the problem. We shouldn't have made this guy cook.
Absolutely. Then in the third phase, Hisoka is targeted by Togari, a former examiner. This is the one that he almost killed. A very forgettable killer or character. But by the way, also want to mention here that I just always mention this when I can. The 99 anime, for some reason, no reason at all, changes Togari to be an examinee rather than an examiner. I still have no idea why they did that. It makes no
Random.
sense. It's so random.
I forgot about that until you just brought it up now. Now I'm mad that I remember again.
It's just so weird. Like, why downplay Hisoka like that? Whatever. Anyways, for having nearly killed him during the previous exam, Hisoka, however, catches his spinning blade and beheads him, expressing his disappointment. He's the first to pass through Trick Tower, having taken 6 hours and 17 minutes.
It's a pretty short amount of time.
That is that's one of my favorite moments. Like when this guy, I'm pretty sure he's like, oh, like I spent 6 months learning this knife technique to kill you.
Yeah.
And then Hisoka literally grabs it and does the exact thing. He's like, oh, this is pretty easy. And then kills it. It's just one of my favorite moments of all time. Took my man 6 months to learn it. Hisoka did it in 2 seconds and killed him.
I know.
Shows the skill gap. Shows how powerful Hisoka is. And it's one of my favorite scenes in the Hunter exam in general for that very reason. Hisoka's a level above everybody else in that contest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Minus
Hisoka
Neuro.
was much more of a main character than Togari was. Hisoka was the main villain to Kagari. This was an NPC. We don't even remember him.
But to us, Tagari is fodder, obviously, right? He exists there. He exists there simply to buff up Hisoka's value. But to everybody else that's taking the hunter exam, that's a certified hunter, and the Hisoka just did away with him with ease, where nobody else could conceivably do that at that point in the hunter exam. I think. Except for maybe
no, you're
Hanzo.
right. If Gon or someone met up with Tagari, that would have been a whole that would have been a whole scene. That would have been a whole thing. Even if Gon would have won.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So it just I like that scene a lot in general for that reason. It just further elevates Hisoka as a threat.
Yeah. The fourth phase on Zevil Island is quite eventful for Hisoka. He is the first to disembark from the ship after he had the best clear time for Trick Tower, but chooses to spend a lot of his early time on the island just sitting around. And that's simply because he really just doesn't feel like he needs to try. He steps on that island and he's like, I already won. Like he
Yeah.
doesn't.
Yeah.
He's going through the motions.
Easy peasy.
Gitaraker offers to tell him who his target is, but he declines, stating he will just take 3 random tags. Gon has already been on his trail for about 2 days at this point, but he is completely unaware of this and instead notices the very similarly named Goze stalking him. Hisoka tells Goze to come out, and Goze challenges him to a duel.
Hisoka's radar was 1 letter off.
Yeah, one letter.
I know, yeah, what a shame. If he just had one more letter. Despite realizing his opponent is dying and that he wants this battle to be the end of his life as a warrior, he wants to keep his pride. Hisoka does not fight back since he is uninterested in the dead, which is a hard line.
Yeah.
And also, I keep mentioning the 99 anime here, but it's just on the mind. And it's also funny as hell. For some reason, the 99 gives Goze like a whole background, like backstory and lore about his like tribe and clan.
Yeah.
It's so funny. It's like a solid 2 minutes of like backstory for this guy.
It
Gotta
makes
be
it
one of those
even-
things.
It makes it even
ahead.
funnier for when Hisoka is just like, yeah, I don't care at all, dude. Like,
Yeah, I know. It's true. Yeah, you get this whole sob story, and then Hisoka's like, I don't really give a shit.
It's got to be one of those things where they were just adding extra filler to make the episodes
yeah.
longer
Oh, for sure.
at that point. Yeah.
Yeah, that's 99 for you. Gitaraker then appears and finishes Goze off. He hands Hisoka Cyper's badge, and when night falls, Hisoka finally decides to get himself 2 other tags.
decided to finally put a little elbow grease in.
Yeah, it's about time. He spots Leorio and Kurapika, but fascinated with their resolve, he allows them to leave unharmed in exchange for a badge they had. Their potential and quick development stirred his bloodlust, compelling him to find someone to kill. This is, obviously the classic moment where he's just losing his mind, barely holding himself together.
I think this
Horrific
was
panel.
yeah. I think this is a lot of people's like first like aha moment basically with Hisoka, like, oh, this guy's kind of crazy, like
Yeah.
endearing almost.
Unhinged.
It's an endearing moment in a very weird way because like this guy is like completely bonkers right in this scene.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what it makes him stand out, and that's what stood out to me whenever I first experienced this.
I read this live with my members for my channel, and I think I could probably find there's a highlight clip of me like when I got to that page, I literally like was like, what the heck am I looking at? Because like
Yeah.
the way I think that was like my first experience with the way that Tagashi like just like changes art styles like completely for like the more horrific or serious moments, and it's like, oh my god, I was not expecting this man to look this disgusting. Like
Yeah.
It's like
he
he
looks like
turns
he's about to
into
pop out of my screen.
yeah.
Yeah, it does.
It's like he turns into a whole other character, like really. So it's a crazy.
Oh, yeah,
moment.
for sure. Tagashi's a master of the page turn, and that's one of the best, honestly. It's so effective.
That was the beginning of my my induction to the Hisoka cult for sure. I said, oh, this guy's something else.
Yeah.
Yeah. He then comes across poor Aegon, who is immediately dead on sight. He barely even gets one word in. He is dead.
First we were
Curse
one
name.
letter off from Gon, and now we're one letter added onto Gon.
Oh my god. I didn't even think about that.
That's just such
Wow.
a Tagashi thing, bro. I swear to God.
I'm convinced it's not a coincidence at this point.
I
Oh,
think
yeah.
it might be. I think it is. I didn't pick up on that one. That's hilarious. Wow.
He killed Aegon, not
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, but not Aegon.
Poor Aegon.
As he does so, his badge was stolen by Gon's fishing rod.
High moment.
While going after him, Hisoka finds and decapitates Gareta, who turns out to be his target, which I love. It's just I just randomly mow down this guy. Oh wait, it's my target. All right, sweet, I'm good now. He praises Gon's stealth and technique and leaves him his badge. Gon refuses to accept the favor, but Hisoka blasts him with a right hook and leaves after challenging him to do the same. He wants Gon to return that punch.
Yep.
Having obtained the necessary number of plates, Hisoka qualifies for the final phase.
And this is
No sweat.
the beginning of a rivalry, I guess is the best way to call it, right? Between Hisoka and Gon. And
Something akin to a rivalry, yeah.
yeah, and
Rivalry is what Hisoka would probably say in court. Yeah, that's exactly what would happen.
Yeah.
It's true.
He's my rival, obviously, Your Honor. I see the potential in him. That's all it is.
But obviously, this scene is very, very key to Hisoka going forward, right? Because this is kind of our first actual setup for a clearly defined conflict the series will continue to revisit over time, right? At least up until Heaven's Arena, right? But even kind of persists past that to some degree with just Hisoka specifically, right? Maybe he's not on Gon's mind anymore after that point, but I don't know. First clearly defined conflict in the series, and so it's a very memorable moment for me for Hisoka.
Oh yeah, for sure. After this phase, he is interviewed by Chairman Isaac Netero for the purpose of planning the final phase. In this interview, he states that he only wishes to become a hunter so that he can kill people without getting in trouble. Hell yeah.
I go.
Listen, at least he's honest. You know what? I prefer more criminals to be that honest, to be fair, you know?
Yeah, honestly.
No, good point.
He also tells Netero that the applicants who caught his attention the most are Killua and Gon. However, he declares that he would prefer to fight neither of them, especially not Gon. And instead says that the person he wants to fight the most is Netero himself, but he is casually dismissed.
At that point, that would have been it for Hisoka, right?
Yeah.
Hisoka would be dead. Yeah.
Yeah,
there's no
he's
way.
a fly on the wall for Netero. The final phase is a tournament in which only one person fails. No killing allowed. Hisoka's first match is against Kurapika, and after tussling for a while, he whispers something to Kurapika, and then he forfeits the match.
Very mysterious.
Very mysterious. Even more mysterious, I would argue, is this next part where his next opponent is Botaro. It is a one-sided match, but Botaro refuses to surrender. Hisoka knocks him down and whispers something to him as well. What? I don't know. We never learn, and we probably never will. I can't even imagine what he could possibly say to Botaro, but he sure said something.
Yeah, I think about this all the time. Where was the follow-up
All the
for
time.
This?
Nowhere.
Did Takashi have something intended for Botaro, in that moment, writing the chapter, and then decide, the next week, never mind, I'll just kill him off?
Yeah, never mind. I was going to kill him. I really don't know.
That's what I was going to say. I was like, can you imagine chapter 600? And then I was like, oh, wait, this guy is already dead. Never mind.
Yeah, he's dead.
Oh, boy.
So yes, yeah.
Said,
so yeah,
I
right
likes
after
you and
that.
I wants you, and he said, "All right, you know what? I'm out of here. No problem."
Yeah, might have been that. I can't even wager a theory. I have no idea what he said to him. And
that's my best guess, honestly.
Yeah, and again, it really doesn't matter because Killua kills Botaro shortly after this and ends the whole exam. So, all right,
rest in peace.
Yeah, rest in peace.
Took that secret to the grave, literally.
He really did. He's the only person to ever hear those words.
Forbidden knowledge.
Yeah.
It really is, yeah. He then has a short conversation with Illumi. By the way, Gita Rocker was Illumi. That's a huge reveal, guys.
Wow.
I know you didn't know that, but yeah.
Wait, what?
Yeah, wait.
Sorry, man.
Spoilers.
About Gon. Yeah, sorry, huge spoiler, my bad. And the Zoldyck family and warns Illumi not to touch Gon because that boy is his target only. Makes that very clear.
Very, very clear. Yeah. Gon is his pet project, so to speak.
Yeah, for sure. So that's the end of Hisoka in the Hunter exam. Just very solid introduction to him. It sets him up as a, one hell of a threat. That's for sure. He's very intimidating the whole way through, and that he's never challenged in any capacity during any point in this whole exam.
Very, very unique just setup for the character in general when you consider that all of the other applicants showcased throughout the exam, they're not all buddies with each other, right? They're all kind of competing against one another. But you see people like Pokel and Hanzo and they're at least they're valiant in a way, right? You can tell there's some morals to them. But then you have
genuine
Hisoka.
People.
Yeah,
Right.
Genuine people. Yeah, but then you throw Hisoka and to the same extent Illumi as well, right? But mainly Hisoka. You throw that into the mix, and he contrasts so so well against everybody else in the exam, and so that makes him I would say the standout in the Hunter exam for that very reason. And I think that was the approach Takashi had the entire time.
Absolutely. All right, that brings us to Heaven's Arena. Hisoka first appears in this arc by using his Ren to prevent the boys from entering the 200th floor until they are able to use Nen, declaring them not ready.
which I just think
It's
is
funny.
so funny. Go ahead,
yeah.
but like it's just like, yeah, I could have done this the whole time. By the way, guys.
Yeah.
Just, you know,
Yeah. It's
silly
awesome.
me.
I love it. Gon and Kilo return after learning 10 from Wing. Hisoka allows them both to pass and tells Gon if he can win one match on the 200th floor, he might consider fighting him. It's really funny doing this arc from Hisoka's perspective because we miss like the entire thing. Like it's all everything is gone except the later parts of it. It's just really interesting. He makes his appearance like halfway through roughly, and then he's kind of sporadically used throughout the arc from that point on while Gon and Kilo are doing training. Which, by the way, while they're doing that, Hisoka is fighting Castro because he's deciding right now to have his rematch. As previously mentioned first match in which he lost. But now with Nen, he can clone himself.
Oh, wow.
Wow. Huge.
Original.
Obviously, Castro loses. It is a very cool fight, actually. I think that's a really good early example of just like what Hunter x Hunter fights can be. Because it's all brains. It's a battle of the brains.
Yeah.
Kind of one-sided because Hisoka's just playing this guy like a fiddle. But it's really cool to watch.
Shows the potential, though. And it shows how busted Hisoka is as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
So.
But Hisoka does sever both arms in the process, which does not end up being a big deal, but he does do that.
Bold.
After the fight, it sure is bold. After the fight, Hisoka pays Machi to reattach both of his arms, concealing the seams with a combination of bungee gum and texture surprise. Machi then tells him that everyone in the Phantom Troop must meet up in York New City at noon at the end of August, and that Krollo may punish him this time if he skips another gathering. He invites her to spend the evening with him, but she leaves before he finishes the invitation. Damn.
Hisoka's only true friend.
Yeah.
Friend. Yeah. But
I
can never.
He leaves her alive. It's crazy, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, of all people, I feel like she's the only person that he would have like. He's like, look, I'll give you a head start.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll talk about that later. Obviously, they have a very interesting relationship that I'd love to see explored more in the future.
Mm-hmm. I also just want to say real quick, before I let you go, is just because I could not believe the first time I read this, like going through this moment, and I was like, wait, that's all this guy's ability is. I was like, just
Yeah.
Bungee gum and textures. I was like, just like with like how crazy he comes off, like it's just like it really was like again like just it's like a first introduction to like as like the fight is a first introduction to how strategic and technical the fights can be. Like hearing that this like smoke demon's ability is just bungee gum and texture surprise. I'm like, dude, are you kidding me? I would have thought this was going to be something 10 times crazier, but it's just a masterpiece.
Yeah, it's about the application of the ability. It's it's very similar, honestly, in ways. This just came to mind. I've never thought about this before, but like Luffy in One Piece, his ability is literally just stretching himself, but it's the way he uses it that's interesting. And this is a very similar case. It's a thing that has the properties of both rubber and gum. If you didn't know, but he uses it in the most creative ways. And it's just so fun to watch. Like you always want to watch a Hisoka fight. They're like the best in the series.
And similarly, it's so weird to think about because like it's like two polar opposite characters, but like in a way, it similarly reflects the user of the power itself, right? Where like Hisoka's entire thing, as we kind of get further and further into this, is like he kind of just marches to the beat of his own drum, right? And so an ability like Bungee Gum really does allow him to kind of just like use it however he feels, right? Like in a similar fashion. And I think it's just a really smart ability to present to something or to a character like this, because it becomes you realize over time, like gradually, just like how like smart the ability is in concept, right? Like it becomes more appreciative, like exponentially as time goes on.
Oh yeah,
for sure.
Absolutely. Later, as he showers, he peels off the fake spider tattoo on his back, which he had made up from a piece of cloth using texture surprise, revealing to the readers that he is not really committed to the troop. After Gon defeats...
moment.
Oh, yeah. And you get a little subtle hint with Machi, too, just about the fact that he always skips meetings and stuff, and like he doesn't seem to really care, but he is a member, and I mean, Machi at least seems to somewhat care about him to some degree.
Yeah, and again, that goes to show Hisoka does what Hisoka wants to do, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This is just a small
Setting
taste
the
of that.
standard. Mm-hmm. After Gon defeats Guido and Realvelt, he declares himself willing to fight the boy. They decide to have their showdown at Heaven's Arena on July 10th. They fight. It's awesome and iconic. This is definitely my favorite early fight. Like, this is the first time Gon is really challenged. Like, obviously he is challenged by Realvelt before he knew Nen all the way. But this is like the real first Nen challenge, I would say, is fighting Hisoka, which is a crazy first challenge to have, by the way. It's like fighting the final boss in the first area.
And like you said, you kind of have to use every single aspect of Nen that he's learned up until this point in order to even survive, right? So
Yeah.
it's a good fight for that reason, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. Hisoka ultimately wins, of course, but Gon does get to return Hisoka's badge after landing a strong punch right to his face, just like Hisoka did. Doesn't quite send him flying as far, but Hisoka lets it count.
No, he kind of like slides on the ground, kind of, right? But like,
Yeah.
I love that moment specifically for the fact that as soon as the punches landed, they both have enough like mutual respect for one another to like hand over the badge and then continue the fight. I find that so cool.
I love that. Hisoka is very satisfied by this fight, to say the least.
If you know the moment, you know the moment.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know.
Good lord.
He then leaves after telling Gon that the next time they fight, it will be to the death. Will we ever see that? Who knows? I try
One
not
day,
to think about it.
maybe, hopefully. Although that'd be a very sad day because like Hisoka definitely dies in that fight, right? I don't know.
Is that really sad, though?
It'd be a fitting end, I suppose. But you know.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's like I don't even know a millennia away, so whatever.
Yeah.
If
Not
we
in our
ever get there.
lifetime.
Yeah, not in our lifetime.
So yeah, that's Heaven's Arena. It's a very simple arc from Hisoka's perspective. He just is kind of there, and Gon is also there, and he has a fun time. Like he's not really he's not in any danger in this arc, that's for sure.
No, but it further leans into the whole like he's just. Yeah, like I said with the whole like Phantom Troop scene, so like it kind of just shows he marches to the beat of his own drum. He's getting into all these different things, just kind of for some unknown reason to us, I guess, still at this time. But we're still given little hints of like his entire reason for existence is purely just the fight. I mean, why else is he like this high up in Heaven's Arena in the first place, right? But also just like why is he so insistent on like getting Gon to be as strong as he can be, right? And we see very clearly by the end of Heaven's Arena, it's just because he wants to have a fight to the death, basically. Like a really good fight. That's all he's there for. So, I don't know. Just really good continuous build up on Hisoka's character, even through this arc.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Which brings us to the York New City arc, which is another interesting arc for Hisoka. You see that this isn't a very long section because really from his perspective, again, it's a pretty simple arc. It's one of those ones, again, it just further drives home the point that Dylan keeps saying. He marches to the beat of his own drum. He is here for one purpose, and as we'll find out, it's to fight Crollo, which isn't going to happen, but, he wants it to. So, on August 31st, Hisoka meets the other members of the Phantom Troop in an abandoned building in York New City, where Crollo gives the order to rob the Mafia community of the underground auction items. How simple this arc starts.
Yeah,
That's all it is.
Yeah.
It's so funny how simple it starts. Like I think about it all the time. Like going into it on my first watch through the series, especially, it's like, oh, just like a little like mafia arc. Okay, that's kind of a nice change of pace, and then it just gets crazy, like almost immediately.
Yeah. Yeah, it's awesome. On the night of September 1st, he listens intently to Crollo's conversation on the phone with Uvo about a traitor and leaves the hideout to meet with Kurapika. I wonder who the traitor is.
I wonder.
He texts him to meet as arranged, and when they do, tells Kurapika what he knows about the Phantom Troop, that he joined the troop only to fight Crollo, and that they should team up because they share a common interest. He offers Kurapika information about the abilities of the Seven Spiders in return.
Hisoka's only friend.
Yeah, honestly, and that's what I was kind of about to get into. These two have a very interesting bond that I don't feel is talked about enough. It's so fascinating. Like even back from the Hunter exams, these two just just kind of had something that's hard to explain. It's not like a
They're not
friendship
friends.
by any means,
Yeah.
but it's a give and take relationship.
And
They definitely
Hisoka-
have some form of respect for one another.
It's a mutual respect he doesn't have like with, and like it's almost like a similar mutual respect that he has with like Illumi, right? Where like he's like,
Yeah,
look, I respect your strength, and like but like not to the point where I want to fight you and fight
Yeah.
to the death. Like I'm willing to be normal, like you said, like a give and take relation. I can get something out of you, and you
Yeah.
can get something out of me. I scratch your back, you scratch my back. And like, as opposed to where it's just Gon and other characters where he's like, I want to fight this person. I don't care what it is. I want to fight this person to the death. It's very weird. I don't know what that distinction is. It has to be, like you said, that give and take. But like, it's weird how he picks and chooses. I'm going to battle this person. This guy's a friend.
Well, everything is in the name, I think, of just like Hisoka fighting strong people. Because I feel like even the people Hisoka does just like business with, such as Kurapika and Illumi, right? I feel like it's also founded on like the other person being a very strong individual as well, right? So like, I feel like Hisoka kind of saw that in Kurapika with like just his drive to eliminate the spiders in general, right? So I feel like that's kind of a foundation for that.
Yeah, I have to like I can't really pin down a reason on why he wouldn't want to fight Illumi, but for Kurapika at least I have to imagine it's something to the effect of just the fact that his ability, he probably views it as the fact that Kurapika just can't go all out on him because he's not a spider, at least not.
That's actually a really good
spider.
point. It's actually
But-
a really good point.
Can definitely soften up the rest of the spiders so that Hisoka can get what he really wants in Crollo.
Right, exactly. Kurapika is the perfect avenue of getting what he wants, and Hisoka knows that right off the bat. He can get that fight with Crollo because of Kurapika.
Yep.
I will say, I definitely think that Kurapika fighting Hisoka would probably be one of the craziest things of all time if that ever was to happen. That would be like such an intellectual like
Oh my god, yeah.
battleground, just similar to like Hisoka and Crollo, but like on a completely different level at the same time.
And the fun thing
That
is
would be
that's
so
not
interesting.
impossible to happen still. So
No,
Yeah, right?
It's not. Yeah.
Especially now.
especially now. Yep.
Yeah, I hope to one day see more interactions between the two of them. I'm very confident it will happen. Just who knows when.
Yeah.
If ever. He offers Kurapika information about... Oh, I already spread that part. Whoops. Kurapika leaves after stating he will give his answer the following day at the same time and at the same place. The next day, he has an unexpected meeting with Gon and Killua after the two were captured and brought to the troops' hideout. Despite his liking for Gon, he cannot do anything to help them and even threatens to slit Killua's throat with a card if he makes any moves without permission.
Wild.
Yeah, just playing undercover.
I love how it's like an unspoken. He's just like, don't say shit.
Yeah, I love that. Since Nobunaga is busy watching Gon and Killua, Machi is forced to pair up with Hisoka to carry out their orders that night. Later, he receives the order to create a commotion before stealing the auction loot. However, he only stands on top of a building admiring the massacre. Again, just showing he does not really give a shit about what the troop is doing here. He's along
Bigger
for the
fish
ride.
to fry.
He doesn't take
That's
orders.
That's right. Yeah, he really doesn't. Like the other spiders, he passes himself off as an auction staff and hides while fake corpses of several of the troop members are created in order to make a clean getaway. A very solid plan.
Yeah.
On September 4th, Crollo announces his intentions to leave York New City. When Nobunaga protests, he uses the lovely Ghost Rider ability that he stole from Neon on him and Shizuku, learning that pursuing the chain user will lead to the death of 5 other members. So this is obviously a highly talked about moment in the fandom as we are progressing in the succession contest, as these
100%.
fortunes become more and more relevant and may not specifically just apply to the events of York New City. So Hisoka sends a message to Kurapika at this point telling him about the fake corpses as part of his plan to force the spiders to remain in York New City so he can fight Crollo. Crollo then writes fortunes for nearly all of the members, including Hisoka. Hisoka's prophecy exposes his treachery and promises he would fight Crollo the following Tuesday, by which time half the spiders would be dead. When Pakunoda insists on reading it, he alters it with texture surprise to basically read that he will die if he leaves the hideout. There's a little more to it than that, because Hisoka's smarter than that. He makes it very intentionally like vague and wordy. Because somewhere in there it also kind of sets off alarms like, okay, is Hisoka like the traitor here?
Shows how smart he is
spiders...
as well, because like he did that super quickly too, just like on the fly.
Yeah.
Thinking.
Yeah, with this the same kind of like vocabulary and like riddle-esque like nonsense, like that was like quick.
I know. It's so cool. This is one of my favorite Hisoka moments. It's just so damn smart. Like he nailed it. It couldn't have gone any better.
And it was like and it was almost like someone like not trying to copy someone else's homework. Like he got like just like enough weird enough for people to be like, like wait a minute, like I can't tell. Like he knew, he knew what he was doing.
Yeah, it's so good. The spiders initially interpret his forged fortune as a sign of his betrayal, but when Nobunaga is about to clash with him, Chrollo falls into Hisoka's trap and suggests that the chain user is forcing him to cooperate. Because there's a line, I should have just put the fortune here, but there is a line that like it's something about working with the chain user. It's kind of vague, and you can either interpret it as like, okay, he's the traitor working with him, or it can be like, he can't speak because the chain user has some ability on him that he can't reveal anything. So Hisoka stays silent for pretty much the rest of the arc. He's not letting himself talk to the troop, or at least tell the truth to the troop, or the fake truth that he creates.
That's another like big moment that shows like how crazy Nen is. Like power systems like this where like everything is so technical where like literally they're like, okay, wait a minute, hold on. Like, I want to think this, but there's like 17,000 possibilities going on where there could be an ability that might do this very specific thing. All right, hold on, I got to take this into... it's just like, it's so... And to also have to be intelligent enough to like also parse through all of that like in moments. It really does show like how crazy it is to like be a hunter in this world, a successful hunter in this world.
Yeah. It's also a really good like... I wouldn't say subtle, but sort of subtle way to just show off like the different personalities of all the troop members in here, because it shows like, how each of them react to this fortune says a lot about them. Like the fact that Nobunaga is just like, all right, I'm going to kill this guy. He's a traitor. And some people are with him. It's like, it's just a surface level read. He's a traitor. Let's take him out. But Chrollo's the one to kind of sit back and think like, all right, there's probably a little bit more to this. But it's also a good example of how he can overthink.
Right? They all start like,
for sure.
I'll pick this side. I'm going to pick this side, because they all start like infighting over what to do. It's crazy.
Yeah, but Chrollo speaks up, and that's all they need. That's their leader. His manipulation is successful, and Chrollo decides to remain in the city. Hisoka is partnered with Franklin and Bonelanov and left at the hideout, while half the other members set out to kill the chain user. As I say, this is still one of the smartest things Hisoka has ever done, I think. It's so insanely clever that whole thing just worked exactly how he wanted it to. When he learns Chrollo has been captured by Kurapika, he hires Ilumi to disguise as himself and act as his double in the troops' hideout so that he can leave and fight Chrollo alone. The two switch places while Kaluto distracts Franklin and Bonelanov, which ultimately leads to him joining eventually.
Yep.
He tells Pakunoda to Lingon Airport, threatening to kill Gon and Killua if Kurapika does not allow him to get on the blimp. When the hostage exchange terminates, he reveals to Chrollo his fake membership status and challenges him to a duel. But to his great disappointment, Chrollo can no longer use Nen.
Gave us another
biggest
iconic
blue balls
panel,
in the series, man.
I know.
And it's like Togashi had the reading of spot on of like how like the anticipation must have been for that battle. It feels so intentional to just like be like, psych, nope, you guys aren't getting this anytime soon.
Nope. We do get it though, which is really awesome, because a lot of these things we do not have payoff for, but we do for this one.
And that makes that moment even better too, because that came actually out of nowhere. Like I'm sure nobody was expecting that to happen when it did.
No way. So. Yeah. Hisoka spares his life and leaves, telling Pakunoda that he has never been attracted to broken toys and that the present already differs from the contents of his fortune. He walks away without returning to the hideout. That's his official, unofficial leave from the spiders.
Shame.
And that's him in York New. It's, again, not a whole lot going on for him really, but he has, I think, like his smartest moment in the whole series, so that counts for something.
Yeah,
Imagine how different the timeline would be if he was just like, "Hey, Crollo, like, can you use Nen?" Before he like ripped off the tattoo. He's like, "Oh, you can't. All right, hold on." Like,
Yeah, right.
like it's so crazy how like he was so like gung ho to like, all right, let's get this fight started, and like he just full on ruined it. He could have just if he held on for 2 more minutes.
Yeah,
Like
for sure.
At the same time,
that is
though,
interesting to think about.
At the same time, though, I question if like Hisoka. I feel like Hisoka already knew that like he wasn't gonna be able to deceive them all for that much longer, right?
he would have had some questions to answer after that for sure.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
After all was said and done, they would have been like, all right, so what was up with all of that, Hisoka?
Yeah,
Now you
like,
can
that's
talk.
strange. Actually,
Yeah,
standing on top
that's
of the
true.
building while you were supposed to be doing something. What was up with that?
Yeah, dog.
yeah.
The one guy that does not participate in the group project.
Yeah.
Like, God damn it.
Exactly. Yeah,
no,
he went into this whole thing knowing that he was going to throw it away by the end of it. It didn't pay off the way he wanted it to.
Yeah. Despite that, though, obviously Hisoka's like a master manipulator at the same time, right? So
Oh, yeah.
he definitely knows what he's doing. He'll get what he wants.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of Greed Island, this whole arc is about him trying to get what he wants, from his perspective. So Hisoka heads to Greed Island in search of an exorcist for Crollo. It's such a round, like he's trying to help the guy that he wants to kill. That's just the kind of man he is. He wants him to be at full strength.
After saying, you know what, I'm never attracted to broken toys. Liar.
Yeah, that's so
Liar.
true. He's trying to fix the broken toy right here. Yeah.
Rekindle his love,
Yeah, find that spark. He uses Crollo's name to enter the game to send a signal to any spiders who would enter the game. Gon comes close enough to him that he shows up in his contact list, and the same occurs with Shizuku, Franklin, Shalnark, and Finks. He approaches them, the 4 of them, not Gon, by the way, to reveal his identity and offers to take the exorcist to Crollo once they find one, because that's what the 4 of them are there for as well.
I think that's like that is another smart move by Hisoka, where he's just like, oh, you know what, this is probably going to ruffle some feathers if I do this, so...
Yeah.
Like,
It's kind of like a bargaining
I'm sure
thing,
they'll
though,
show
too.
up.
It's like, if they do show up, it's like, well, now I can force them to kind of work with me on this and not have them execute me,
Also the balls to just be like, yeah, you know what, they might all show up at once against me, but that's fine.
Yeah.
No worries.
Whatever.
Do you guys want your leader to have Nen or not?
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
Yeah, it's so cool. While Gon and the gang look to beat Razor, not Razo. Whoops, I forgot the R. My bad.
I was like, I missed a couple pages.
Yeah, that's actually the main villain of Greed Island. You must have forgot him. Gon insists on finding out who the Crollo in this binder is, so they fly to him as he bathes in a lake, and we all know what happens here. Anyways,
This is one of those things where I'm just like, I have to ask, like, just why. It's like one of those things. I'm just like, okay, all right. What was the reason for this? There's plot relevance somewhere.
Yeah, somewhere in Tagashi's mind.
It's the fountain of youth, actually. That's how Hisoka stays so young.
Yeah, maybe. That scene also, by the way, is the whole reason why that Nen Impact is banned in Australia.
Yep.
They just had to keep that scene in the story mode.
It was
They couldn't let it go.
To the plot.
It was that important.
That was the one thing Tagashi said was a non-negotiable.
Yeah.
Put the Hisoka scene in.
The worst part is, like, one of the game's like tutorial, like teaching you how mechanics works, is a part of that.
Oh
yeah, that's the
my
opening
God.
cutscene.
So, like, if you want to learn how to play the game like to its full extent, you have to watch that scene.
Listen, you know what? Honestly, Tagashi's just doing counter fan service. That's really what it is. He's doing counter culture fan service.
You're so right. So yeah, that happens. And after that, he agrees to help them defeat Razor. Also worth noting that during this exchange, he lies about his purpose of being on Greed Island. He's holding that information back.
What was his reasoning that he said to go and kill away? I actually forget that.
It was... Oh, man. I
Was it
just
just-
read it earlier.
Was it just something as simple as like, I just want to beat the game?
I think it was. It was he wanted to find Crollo. That's what he was saying. He was there to find Crollo
Okay.
because they didn't really know what happened with him after the arc.
Okay. Okay. Sure. I'll believe that.
So Killua begins to suspect that Hisoka has met other members of the Phantom Troop on the island and is hiding it from everyone. So Killua's onto him immediately, and he continues to stay onto him, but he never figures it out until the end. When Gon asks him to check his contacts to know if he has met Sesgera, Hisoka conceals the names on the spiders with texture surprise, which is another very clever move.
Yeah.
And just shows how versatile texture surprise is, man. That is such a good ability, honestly.
Very simple, but you can use it literally anywhere. It's so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those things where like if that ability was given to like an actually like good-natured person, they would have they would not be able to use it as the same way that Hisoka does, without a doubt. This is an ability made for someone that's a devious degenerate.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Someone
exactly.
who's conniving. Yeah.
Yeah.
He contacts Sesgera, and they form an alliance to beat Razor. The Razor game happens, and Hisoka plays a crucial role in their victory. Obviously, this is where we have the iconic, 3-man block, or whatever you want to call it. Very classic moment. Love that dodgeball game.
So
yeah.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Afterwards, Hisoka leaves them, and his parting words to Killua cause him to realize that he was indeed lying the whole time, but now it doesn't really matter.
Oh yeah. The job is
late.
done.
Yep. Finks takes Hisoka to where the other spiders are after they locate the Exorcist. He asks Machi between him and Crollo who she'd prefer survive and what she would do if he killed Crollo. To which Machi replies she would hunt him down and kill him. A little bit of foreshadowing there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love the moment there too when he does meet up with the other spiders and he like catches Kaluto while Kaluto's in like stealth or like in like Zetsu. And even like and Finks is like, oh, like are you able to sense like them? Like I wasn't even able to do that. And he's like, yeah, sorry, I'm a little fired up from that game right before. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
And it's just like
that's
he
a
does
great
it so
moment.
casually. Like it's just like I feel like that's like it's just like those little small little casual moments where you're like, this guy is just a problem in just everyday moments. Like jeez.
Yeah, he does like so many insane things with such like, casualness. It's just like no big deal to him. So yeah, he smiles and states that he would like that, to Machi saying that she would hunt him down and kill him, which sounds like Hisoka for sure. It's also just interesting that he even asks that question at all. Like, who would you prefer survive? That to me, that implies so much about the relationship, but we just have no idea about it yet. Because, like, you obviously just like I think from a viewer or reader's perspective, you would just think obviously she's gonna say Crollo, but it's not like that in Hisoka's mind. He probably genuinely thinks like that's a question to ask.
It's almost like it makes you like question, like you said, like it makes you question like the previous relationship and what led to him asking that question, because you wonder, is she like just reactionary to saying like, of course I would hunt you down and kill you, and that's why he like thinks it's funny, or he smiles, he's like, oh yeah, I'm sure I'd like that, like that's what you it's just it is interesting. And again, like later on we'll talk about it, but like he gives her the chance to escape. Like there definitely is like I don't know. Machi also at the same, like if Machi didn't grow up with all of the Phantom Troop, I would say that like she also really isn't that loyal herself. But like I believe that like why would she be more loyal to Hisoka over the people that she grew up with her whole life, right? So
yeah, it's such an interesting relationship. I'm really hoping it's explored more, and I almost guarantee it will be, because she's as we know currently, she's kind of just on her own. She's on a solitary journey to kill that guy. So see where it goes.
It really reads to me, at least, like from this moment, and then also kind of just like looking forward to like later in the series, right? That like it almost feels like Hisoka is kind of like trying to rile her up in some way, specifically because like maybe he sees something in her. That's kind of how I read into it. Like maybe I don't know, maybe he thinks to some extent Machi would actually be an entertaining like person to fight as well.
That's that's a good point. We never really get any of his inner thoughts about Machi. It could be that he has her marked as like one of his special interests.
And it's funny
Listen.
because the thing that made me start thinking about that more was then Impact having that like self-insert fight like in the story mode.
Oh yeah.
Where he invites her and like it goes into like Hisoka dreaming about a fight against her. But like it
Yeah.
seems silly at the time, but the more I think about it, I'm like, you know what? That wouldn't be completely out of character for Hisoka.
Yeah.
It wouldn't.
Yeah.
It wouldn't. It makes sense. Listen, I've always been on the Machi agenda, like where like she
Hell
is
yeah.
100% a powerhouse on her own. You know,
Yeah.
her Hatsu is super OP, and isn't also she's also one of the strongest on what am I thinking of? The arm wrestling list, isn't
wrestling
she?
ranking?
She's like
Oh,
she's
yeah.
like 5 or 6. Maybe I'm
Yeah.
misremembering.
She's
pretty
somewhere in the
high up
middle,
there.
I think.
Yeah, so like maybe she is, you know, like actually a secret powerhouse. I mean, she was she also has that moment later on in their backstory where she was one of the first people that was able to see Nen, I think, when she meets up with the one lady and she's like, "Oh, you can see that?" And she's like, "Oh, let me take you on." So
Yeah.
like she's definitely
Yeah.
maybe got something. Togashi might have more planned for her character for sure. But
Yeah.
who knows?
And I think it leads even more credence into that. Hisoka only does business with people that he deems as like worthy, basically, right? And
Yeah.
then, as an aside, just as well, I think like Hisoka Machi fight would be absolutely insane because like bungee gum versus what's Machi's Nen ability called again? I don't even remember. But like
Just Nen strings.
just Nen strings.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
but
think
like
it's literally nothing special, just Nen strings.
Yeah.
just the concept of that though, I think would lead to such a crafty and like engaging fight, like very
Yeah.
unique.
Oh yeah.
So-
It would be
It's
awesome.
an OP. It's an OP. Like I think it's the longer the string is, the weaker it gets, but like the shorter it is, the stronger it is. I think
Yeah,
she's
yeah.
able to cut
Yep,
through a
yep,
whole
yep.
ton. She says with her short version, which is crazy.
I believe it. Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's a super cool ability. And yeah, she that's something I never really put much thought into, but yeah, she is as long as I'm remembering correctly, she is literally the first troop member to awaken to Nen. So that's got to count for something.
yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
So hopefully we see more of that, but I really like that scene for that reason too. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a really good one. A few weeks later, he leaves the island with Abangane after the latter has successfully deactivated Genthru's countdown ability.
Not
Genthru mentioned, let's
Genthru.
go.
No. Why'd you have to deactivate his countdown?
Yeah, what a shame. Having left the game, Hisoka and Abangane are seen approaching Crollo as he reads an issue of Weekly Shonen Jump. Just
What are
like
you
me,
getting-
for real.
When are you getting
And
Crollo on
Amagane
as a
was
guest
never
for your
seen
channel?
again.
Yeah, he wasn't. Who knows what happened to that guy?
I can only imagine that after his purpose was served, he probably died. I can only imagine, right?
Yeah, it's really hard to say. I doubt we'll ever
never
see him
know.
again.
You never know.
Yeah.
Not that we would need to see him again, probably ever. He
No.
might also just be chilling at the same time. But
Yeah, he could be.
knowing Hisoka, I doubt like he was like, all right, guys, I'm done. Peace out. All right, I'm gonna leave. Like I just don't
Yeah.
see that. But who knows?
Yeah, who could say? Which, this now brings us to the 13th tournament election arc. We're completely skipping Chimera Ant because he is not seen or mentioned at all, as far as I can remember. I don't think maybe he's mentioned briefly
Much
by
to his
somebody.
disappointment.
Well,
maybe
actually,
mention-
not
it
to his disappointment, as we'll talk
Oh,
about
wait,
later.
that's
He
right.
doesn't
He
give
said
a
that
shit
was
about
boring,
the
right?
ants.
He said it was like, oh,
Yeah.
actually, yeah, screw that. I forgot. You're
Yeah.
right. He does
But-
say that.
Yeah, it's so like weird going into that arc though, with like how long Hisoka's presence kind of lasted throughout all, like from the very beginning almost all the way up until this point. It was kind of shocking for me at the time. I remember to go into Chimera and be like, wow, he's just not involved anywhere. Even when we cut to
Yeah.
like the Phantom Troop shenanigans happening, Chimera Ant, he was just no mention of him even really. It was so interesting to me. And it just makes
Yeah.
all the more sense when we get to, later on when he's just like, yeah, the ants were like actually nothing to me. There were ants. That's basically what he said.
Yeah. He says he's not into bestiality, is what he says. actually.
That is, wasn't it?
Hisoka stronger than Meruem confirmed.
Hey, maybe. All right, so 13th tournament election arc. Hisoka is next seen during the first round of the 13th election, their voting period, looking for Jing. He secretly rates the hunters on the scene using a scale of his own and is notably quite happy with the power of some of the members of the Zodiacs, being Kanzai, Ginta, and Payon. Very interesting group to
Yeah.
pick there. I've always been interested in that. Because Payon especially, we've seen absolutely fuck all from her. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm really curious about her because of Hisoka's interest in her. Though.
It took me a second to even like correlate like Pion's name to like the actual like character design, because like I was like, what? Who? For a second.
The Zodiacs all kind of blur together, honestly.
No, yeah,
That's
but
fair.
like Kanzai, I definitely have a distinct vision of.
Oh, I love Kanzai. That's my boy.
Yeah.
Ginta's the big fat one. Pion honestly is the most NPC looking of all of them. She's kind of just like a girl, but
Which makes it more interesting why Hisoka is like notable. Like
yeah, right. Yeah. It's also like how this has nothing to do with Hisoka, but like that one Jing moment where he points out that one random member of the of Beyond's team. He's like, she's kind of interesting.
Oh
and
yeah.
You've never seen anything about her again. Yeah, we'll see.
How that works.
He then casts a blank vote after showing it to them, which annoys Kanzai. After that, he sits there scouting out the crowd while sizing up the pro hunters present at the election site. Hisoka is disappointed by their power levels and thinks to himself that if they are this weak, he might consider fighting the Zodiacs next. Shooting high, aiming for the stars.
Yeah, he's just gonna fight everybody on this goddamn boat.
Hey, yeah, maybe we'll see.
Spent all those years taking the hunter exam, disqualifying and retaking it just to be like, you know what? This kind of sucks, guys.
Yeah, actually.
I expected more.
Yeah.
Should've
Hisoka in
learned
this
how to
arc
cook.
is a very... Yeah, he should learn how to cook. That's all he needed. Hisoka in this arc is kind of a random presence. Like, his purpose is very minimal, but I really like him in this arc. Just, like, on a personality level. I think he's, like... This is, like, all-time classic Hisoka shenanigans. He's just, like... He's perfectly written, honestly. Even though his inclusion is super random, I think he's used really well.
Just doing a favor for his best friend. Yeah,
That's
buddy,
right.
I'll help you out. No problem.
Yeah. Speaking of, suddenly he feels the presence of someone strong who turns out to be Illumi. Illumi then tells Hisoka about what happened. By the way, this is the first time you see Illumi in a long ass time in the series. I remember being blown away that he even came back. Back when I read this. Illumi then tells Hisoka about what happened during the Chimera Ant crisis, the death of Chairman Netero, Aluka, and the current situation with Gon and Killua. Hisoka and Illumi are next seen talking to each other in an airship bar. Illumi explains the rules related to Aluka's ability to him and tells him if Killua dies from Aluka's power while trying to heal Gon, a lot of people, including the Zoldycks, Gon, and even Hisoka, will die as well.
Pretty high stakes.
Yeah, it is. Fearing that Killua will do it wrong, Illumi asks Hisoka to help him kill Aluka. Illumi tells Hisoka to eliminate the butlers, but Hisoka asks if he can kill Killua. Illumi suddenly releases a murderous aura and warns him that, it's actually, when I was looking back at the scene, I was reminded of the same thing happening with Illumi to Hisoka regarding Gon.
Yeah,
it's
the
like the
hunter
same,
exam.
the exact same thing, yeah. Just
a nice-
different sides.
Nice little way to tie that all back together, I think. Like they're not friends by any means. They are, they're not afraid to kill each other if it comes to it.
Conditional
Yeah.
relationship for sure.
Yes.
Right. So interesting. Hisoka says he's just kidding, obviously. Haha. Silly joke.
Yeah, funny joke.
It is then revealed that he provoked Illumi on purpose to let Killua know his location because he too wants Gon to be saved. So it's that classic thing. Hisoka's just doing what he wants.
Yep.
He's not on anybody's side, really. Especially here. This is an all-time, Hisoka is playing Hisoka's game here. He's not really helping anyone in particular. He just wants his outcome to happen.
No, he thought about the situation internally. He was like, well, I kind of still want to fight Gon in his full power someday, so let's try and get him up and running again.
Yeah.
Just has to keep up appearances. Yeah, I'm helping, sure, 100%.
Yeah.
He then confronts Goto, Amane, and Canary, who are left behind after Killua uses his Godspeed ability to escape with Aluka. Goto tells the other butlers to go ahead and let him deal with Hisoka.
My goat, but not for
That's
long,
right.
unfortunately.
Rest in
Brave
peace.
man. Yes, the two fight, and this results in the unfortunate death of Goto.
He never
It is
stood
a
a
really
chance.
cool fight.
But it was. He did put up a fight, so
He did.
that.
It wasn't much of one, I have to admit, but he did put up a fight. I do like his his coin stuff. It looks cool, especially in 2011. It was animated really well. I love the moment. I always think about it. Just a little animation moment where Hisoka pulls the bungee gum up and all the coins like go into it, and he catches them and throws them back. Yeah, it's really cool.
Very, very distinct looking fight, despite it not being
for sure.
much of one.
No, it's also the only fight in this whole arc.
Crazy. Yeah, and it's Goto.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Yeah, I know, right? Hisoka and Ilumi arrive at the Parasta airport, where Killua uses an airship as transportation to escape. Ilumi thinks of asking for help, prompting Hisoka to ask if he has any other acquaintances. Ilumi instead reveals an ability to manipulate a person's actions through a Nen-imbued needle. Ilumi asks if Hisoka can hunt the misses for him, and Hisoka gladly accepts. So he's on cleanup duty. Hisoka and Ilumi talk over the phone after killing their attackers. Hisoka informs Ilumi that he has found a map detailing the aircraft's paths and destinations. He offers to send Ilumi a copy, albeit one that is altered by his texture surprise. Unfortunately, Ilumi says that oh my god, I'm fucking this whole thing up. He also has a map from one of the attackers, and that he already knows which aircraft Killua and Alaka are in.
Big. Oof, that was almost a bad moment there.
Yeah. Imagine if he sent it unprompted. Holy shit.
It's like,
that would have been.
This one looks a little bit different, buddy.
Yeah.
You fucking
Man.
with me?
Yeah,
would have been
explain
bad.
this, Hisoka?
Yeah.
Just escaping by the skin of his teeth as always. But like that also shows like how much he plays with fire at the same time, right?
Yeah.
Like he's just like always that close to just like and not that he's not afraid to mess up either, right? Like not that he's afraid to, like it shows like even if I do mess up, that's fine. I guess I'll just have to fight Illumi, and if I die, I die in the way that I want to die. If I don't, I win, and I still got to fight a good fight anyway.
Yep.
You're right.
Exactly.
And then Gon still gets saved in in the end. It's just,
Right. Yeah.
That's all Hisoka truly cares about at the end of the day is just living and dying by strong fights. That's it, So
Yeah.
plays well into that.
Hisoka is later seen hiding in the trees, trying to decide if he should kill Alluka and gain Killua's hatred, or leave Alluka alive to save Gon and make Illumi his enemy. It's a gamble. This is his first time. He's like really sweating. He's like, man, I don't know which is the right option. But it doesn't end up mattering because the situation is resolved in his favor anyways. Without
everyone gets to live.
Yeah, that's right.
That is cool, though, that he like was weighing the options. He goes, if I kill Alluka here, Killua might actually end up becoming stronger than Gon, and he might be the better way to go. Or like, should I just wait and see and let Gon survive, and then I also get to fight? It's so funny to me that these are options that like no normal person is considering in the situation, right? Everyone else is focused on what's actually going on, and he's like literally in the back of his mind, completely disconnected from reality.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. He's just in his own world. His last scene in this arc is assassinating one of the candidates for the election named Terradine Neutral. My favorite character.
Yeah. Dude, I'm not going to lie. This is the first time I've seen this name in probably like a decade.
So he was the guy that was trying to like restart the what are they called? The Paladins? What were they called?
I'm pulling up
the whole like the something Paladins.
Yeah,
I kind of remember this plot
Pure
point.
Paladin Squad.
Pure Paladin Squad. That's right. Yeah. Basically, he was a big candidate. It's just a political assassination. Hisoka was not really into his politics, I guess. Wouldn't make for an interesting president or whatever they're called, chairman. That's what it is. That's the whole arc's name.
Didn't meet the aura qualification.
Yeah. So that's it for him in that arc. Again, very random inclusion, but I do really like him in it. We get to see a lot of insight into his thought process on things, which I really enjoyed. It also shows that he does really value his quote unquote relationship with Illumi enough to like where he was really considering he was weighing the options and deciding on whether or not he wants to make him his enemy or not. Because it's in some capacity, I guess it's a valuable relationship to have. To what
Yeah.
degree, it's hard to say. They work together all the time, but I mean, they don't ever do anything super important.
It
But
kind
maybe
of goes
as,
back to like what we were talking about with Karapika, right? Where like he's like constantly like you know, if I continue being friends with Illumi, like is he gonna continue bringing me to the best possible fights of my life,
Right.
or like have I exhausted this connection of everything I can get from them? And it's actually better for me to toss this aside and move on. Like it's like that's the way that he thinks. Like he's like constantly like I don't. There's probably a mental terminology for it that I can't think of the way that he treats people. But like it's just so much like you know if you're your only value to me is how much I can get out of you. And once
It's
that is
transactional.
gone, yeah, exactly. It's a very transactional relationship entirely. Same with Karapika. Like as soon as Karapika didn't exist to help get rid of the other Phantom Troop members for him so he could fight Crollo, there probably would have been no need to even have that relationship in the first place.
Right. Yeah, exactly. That's Hisoka for you. So that now brings us to the current arc of the manga. We all know it. Succession contest. If you're an anime only watching this or listening to this, I guess leave. But I think we already talked about stuff anyways, so we probably spoiled you before. So never mind.
I mean, to be real too, if you care at all about Hunter x Hunter, you've probably gotten spoiled on what we're about to talk about.
100%.
Anyways.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I don't think
feel like-
anybody doesn't know about this.
Yeah, I feel like you can't be going into Hunter x Hunter content as an anime only. Like, there's just, I feel like there's not really
Yeah.
a space for you.
No, not really.
That
There is
being
here,
said,
no
this
offense
is your
if you are, but still.
Oh, yeah. No judgment. But read the manga.
Yeah.
Yeah, takes dedication. Honestly impressive. More power to you.
Yeah. You're a very patient person if you're an anime only. I'll give you that. And also if you haven't gotten spoiled.
Yeah. So that being said, this is your warning if you do exist.
Yes. All right. Apparently, Crollo had finally agreed to fight Hisoka at some point. This is a very spontaneous part of the manga, so we don't actually know any of the foreplay for it. It just happens, which I love.
Even with knowing that this fight happened, when I started like actually reading past the anime, it blew me away just how like out of nowhere and how fast this fight happened. Like I was shocked.
Just happens.
Yeah.
It just happens. That's life. The two battle each other to the death in Heaven's Arena. What ensues here is one of the greatest fights in shonen history, in my humble opinion.
It's up there for sure.
Agreed.
Very well crafted fight.
So, I'm not going to go over the entire fight, like every nook and cranny, every move, but obviously I think all of us here are big fans of this fight. I think everybody that reads Hunter x Hunter is a big fan of this fight. I've never seen any haters of this fight. It's just incredible. It's like the ultimate battle of wits. There's never been two smarter characters fighting in this series, and it shows. It is so... like it's also what I really appreciate it is you really have to read this fight.
Yes.
If you just skim it, you have no idea what's happening. You can pretend like you know, but you don't. You have to intently read this, like full locked in 100% focus, because it's big brain, like big time.
Especially with how many twists and turns there are just like in the logic of the fight that's happening too, right? Like information being revealed, information being withheld, information only being partially like revealed, like by, you know, either Crollo or Hisoka. Like it's a lot, but it's so entertaining.
Yeah, you Kaige, you said something a while ago that it makes me think of this fight specifically, which is like you said earlier, like you love being able to get into like Hisoka's head and see how he thinks. Like I feel like that's one of the best parts about this fight is like seeing how his thought process like changes and how he thinks of every possible situation and every strategy, and like also what was said with the withholding of information and also partial information, where like that's one thing that I love about Tagashi is like you could get fully into a character's thought process, everything they think, every step of every way that it all makes sense to them, just for it to be completely wrong in their thinking, and they just get like screwed over in that process because they were and that's really what creates the tension for me, because like it's almost like you're fully immersed. I am Hisoka, but like I'm in Hisoka's head right now watching this happen, and when he gets surprised and something goes the wrong way, I feel like it almost like that. I feel like that exact same reaction because I'm fully in like what he's thinking, what he's going through in that moment. And I feel like that's what Togashi does best in his fights, honestly.
Absolutely. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I've always just loved the decision to make Hisoka the point of view character for this fight because it's genius. We get one singular thought from Chrollo's mind, and it's just humans are so interesting. That's the only thought we get from Chrollo the whole fight. Everything else is Hisoka just, and we literally get to see like in his mind crossing out possibilities, going through the motions, like trying to figure out, okay, I think it's this. And then a second later, something is proven wrong. So he's like, okay, let me rework it. Let me get the pathing right. It's actually this. Then that's wrong. And then it's something else. And you get to see every single thought that he's thinking to get himself through this fight. And by the way, he loses in the end, which is also such a huge thing, narratively speaking, because to this point, Hisoka's never lost anything. He's unstoppable. He's just a force of nature. And now we get to see him struggle. This is... and that's also very effective of making him the point of view character, because every time he thinks something is happening, your first read is probably like, oh yeah, he's right. I mean, he knows what's going on. Yeah. He's like the smartest guy in the show.
We're conditioned to believe
that. Yeah, exactly. And then when he's wrong, it's like, oh shit, Chrollo is like the real deal. This is huge. And that just keeps happening.
Yeah.
My favorite is like when he kicks his leg and like he's like, all right, oh, my leg is blown off. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. It's so good.
So there is never a point in the fight where Hisoka is truly like ahead of Chrollo. Like it's the exact opposite, rather. So
he always thinks he is.
Yes, and that's the narrative part of the fight I really really like.
Mm-hmm.
Like Hisoka is still so confident the entire like way. They're like, yeah, I can win this still. Like I know what's happening. But he really doesn't, and like that's just so like interesting to explore. I think I don't know. It's so entertaining.
100%. I love how much Chrollo uses like the environment around him to like set up everything in the fight, and it also has been like the spurring and the creation of so many arguments like in my community, because like I feel like the environment was so important. Like, I think it would be so interesting to see how Hisoka and Chrollo would fight under entirely different circumstances. Yeah. Because I feel like with how intellectual all these characters are, with how strategic all these characters are, it would be a completely different fight entirely. That could go in so many different ways. Not even saying one character wins over the other. It's literally just like, if they imagine them fighting on the Succession War boat, it'd be such a different fight, even if Chrollo did have all of the same abilities that he had now. It would be he would have to do different things. He wouldn't have the audience members with him, and I would just love to see how these characters would adapt. These were like two of the most smartest characters in the series, and you really feel that in the fight as well. You really feel how every person is using their brain at like 110% maximum overdrive in this fight at every second.
Yeah, it's nail on the head.
It's just so well done. You feel so much tension too, and that's just another part that I love about it. Like, you can just feel how fast he's thinking, and like if you try to put yourself in Hisoka's shoes, man, it's the most stressful situation in the world. You have to think at inhuman speeds to be able to keep up with what Chrollo's throwing at you.
Along with
like a great job
characters.
Yeah.
Along with like 5 or 6 different abilities all happening at once that have insane activation requirements and like specific rules. Like, it's so insane. I can't imagine being in his.
And the whole time there might be more that you don't know about yet.
Yeah, exactly. Having to deal with unknown information too all the while. Because like Chrollo doesn't reveal his entire sleeve. He mainly just reveals the basics. He's like, all right, yeah, you're gonna be the record for the most abilities I use to kill somebody with. Like, gosh, it's so insane. I love it though.
It's also the best example we've ever gotten of just how versatile Bungie Gum is. Because he is fighting this guy who has access to presumably infinite amount of abilities. And he's, again, he does lose, but he puts up a damn good fight.
Yeah,
and
that's
just with Bungie Gum, that's all he's got. Yeah, it's so versatile and so amazing. I will always remember the head on the Bungie Gum as a weapon. I love that.
So good.
The opening to the chapter, a head weighs this much. Like,
it's as much as a bowling ball. Yep. Oh, it's so good. All right, so that's that fight. It does result in the apparent death of Hisoka, and it does seem to be, He does seem to be dead, that's for sure. He looks, he's seen better days.
His corpse looks messed up, for sure.
Yeah. Some troop members analyze the body and come to the conclusion that he is in fact dead. Machi says she will stay behind to stitch up his body, which again, just more insight. There's some level of care with that Machi has towards
there was
Hisoka.
a bond of some kind between them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, whether it was just out of respect or, something further. Like, there was something there, so.
Absolutely. As she does this, however, she notices that aura is beginning to emanate from his body. He awakens and greets her with a smile. He reveals that he commanded Bungee Gum to restart his heart and lungs after death.
This is the moment I was
Ridiculous.
like, all right. Yeah, Hisoka's just on an entirely different level.
He's just built different. Yeah.
Like, I can't... like, not even with Crollo is it believable that he could do something like that. Like... I don't know. Like, Hisoka's just insane in every single way. And that shows his just drive and determination to be like he won't stand for, like, a loss like that, even beyond death. Like, that is so insane to me.
Yeah.
Just evolve my ability past normal means, normal physics, just because, all right, I can't, there's no way I can let this be the end. I can't.
Yeah.
It's just insane.
Yep.
He wanted more.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This is a Hisoka we have never seen up to this point. This is he is in a very different headspace. Similar, I guess, to the closest thing I could think of is the Hunter exams. Whenever he was just at max bloodlust and he was just ready to kill.
It's very similar.
Yeah. Hisoka admits that given the circumstances of the fight, he may have bitten off more than he could chew with Crollo, saying that this was a wake-up call.
Again, just going with like what I said, like if this fight was held anywhere differently, it could have gone so different.
Yeah.
Imagine if it just happened in that random desert back at the end of Yorknew. Like even then, it would have been so different.
And that's the key thing that I think Hisoka even realized in the moment, that like giving Crollo all that prep time was probably not ideal, right? So
yeah. He was a little too courageous, a little too cocky in that matchmaking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But now
probably should have fought him right when Abengane exercised him and got him done instead of said, "Hey, let's meet up at this later time and date." Yeah, all right. Same. You guys know the place, all right. Yeah, shouldn't have done that.
It's that Goku thing of like letting your enemies power up to their fullest extent. Yeah, he just can't help himself. He wanted
the best fight he could possibly get, which is probably why he had the prep time in general, right?
Yeah.
But like, it almost reads to me as like, okay, well now I've seen like to the full extent like what he can do.
Yeah.
Now I just want to I want to end it, like I want to be the one on top.
Yeah, he just wants to win. So he then uses his abilities to tend to his wounds and restrains Machi using Bungee Gum before he leaves, telling her that he shall kill all members of the Phantom Troop. Struggling to get out, she shouts and swears at Hisoka, saying she'll kill him herself before Hisoka makes his exit.
Now, why do you think he just doesn't kill her on the spot here? I always think about that.
Again, it's that there's just something to them. I don't know what it is, but they have something.
I think it's removing like the idea that like they possibly have something going on, like between some kind of like just like relationship going on, not necessarily anything like non-platonic, but like like it is like it's almost as if like it's like a level of respect, like, hey, you stitched me up, you were there for me, you did something that you didn't have to, like let me, look, like I'm going to kill all of you again, like here's a head start. Like, just go, and, like, I'm going to come for you, but I'll give you that just as a respect. Because, like, and also, like, it's something that I thought of when you mentioned it earlier, when you were saying that, like, oh, like, it's got to be more than just, like, there's got to be something about Machi that Hisoka finds interesting. Like, because, like, if Machi really was just healing, Hisoka wouldn't, treat her the way that he does, you know what I mean? If she was literally just existing just to heal him, he wouldn't give it, like, he would not, like, treat her like a person, I feel like. Or give her like the genuine respect that he does. So it could, like I said, it could be just as simple in that moment, like, hey, I appreciate what you did. You get a head start, or it could be there could be more to it. I see there's two sides, two ways that it could really go.
Yeah, 100%. I absolutely agree. And the more this we talk about this, I do start to wonder if Machi really is one of his like special interests, akin to like Gon and Leorio and all them, and like this is him. This is that moment where he's letting her go in order to let her get strong and have
Yeah.
a proper fight.
Exactly.
You know,
There's a
later.
lot of
Exactly.
signs that point towards it. Like I'm
For
getting more and more
sure.
convinced.
Yeah, absolutely. After this, he almost immediately kills Shanlark and Cortopi, the users of the two abilities that just gave Hisoka so much trouble during the fight with Crollo. So very intentional kills there.
Poor guys. Kortorbi got killed on the toilet too.
Yeah.
Poor guy.
That's the worst way to go out.
Never drop your
Yeah.
guard. That's the advice we learn
No.
here. Make sure
Yeah,
those
that's-
butt cheeks are clenched at all times.
That's right. And so that's the last time we see him for a while. So the next time, and this does get kind of interesting because the next time we see him is on the boat. However, we know now that actually we weren't seeing him, and it was instead Bonelinov disguised as him.
Yeah.
So there is a lot we could talk about, but that should be in a Bonelinov episode
Yeah.
because this wasn't
And
him.
There's a lot of assumptions we'd be having to make in general, talking a lot about a lot of this too, because just based off of Bonelinov's ability, like it's kind of we don't really know what's happening even with like where everywhere Hisoka's been on the ship. It's a bit of a weird thing. So
It
keep
is.
that in
It's
mind.
it's an evolving situation. We're nowhere near having all the answers to this yet.
yeah. There are some stuff that we do know though, which we'll get into.
Yes. So the next time we actually see him is extremely recently in the grand scheme of things, and unfortunately there isn't a whole lot to talk about him yet within this arc. But in chapter 405, right? Yeah, 405.
Yeah.
We see him in the casino on the Black Whale as he has an internal monologue about how he desires only one-on-one fights with fellow humans. Ants and then beasts are of no interest to him. We see imagery of him dancing with a doll that is falling apart, and eventually he moves on from his sadness at being unable to battle and thinks about how he can always play solitaire.
So we're just getting kind of like a re-exploration of Hisoka's just worldview at this point, and I think it really contrasts like how it's evolved over the course of the series too. Like he's not just interested in just like fighting strong people anymore. It's not as simple as that anymore to him. It's kind of just like he just wants to be able to like I mean it is to some extent that's his entire like messaging of his character, right? But like it's evolved past that to a degree where like he truly is just like thinking about like every possible way in which he can kind of like satiate that hunger.
It's like you said earlier, where we're seeing a Hisoka that we haven't seen before. Where like after that loss, and he's like, all right, I bit off more than I could chew. Like this was a wake up call. I've got to grow myself and learn and improve. Like now we're seeing the beginning of like a new worldview, a new personality begin to surface out of this character. Just from that loss, like you said, like. This is a character that we haven't really seen be on the back foot whatsoever at all. And then the first time we ever see it, he almost died, and that was almost it. So, like you said, it's almost like he still has that want and desire for battles to the death, but it's almost like he's now going about it in a different way. Like he's being more selective, and he's also being more specific about the ways that he fights. He's being more not cautious. He's being more strategic, I guess, with how he chooses his battles.
The way I'm thinking about it now is that like instead of like inviting people to join in on a game with him, aka the game being like a battle to the death, right? He's like creating the game himself almost, which is reflective of how he's kind of dealing with the spiders as is, right? He's playing by his own rules. He doesn't want to just like simply be like, hey, let's fight. He's creating these specific environments and situations in his favor to get what he wants.
Yeah. It's interesting you say that because it's almost like another way to read that moment where like he's dancing with the doll and like it's interesting because I never really read it like that, but seeing your interpretation of it, like the doll's falling apart and he's like moving on from something almost. It's like you could argue that like him and going off with the playing solitaire, like maybe like instead of inviting someone to sit at my table and play a game, I am the game master and I'm the one that's going to be playing with you guys. Like I'm no longer giving you guys the respect that you need. Like, and it's almost like he did to Kortapi and Shalnark. He didn't give them a fair fight. He didn't say, hey, Shalnark, Kortapi, show me what you got, let's fight. He said, nope, you're fucking dead. I'm sorry if I curse. You're dead.
No, you're good.
And like that's it. So like it's almost like his way of moving forward now. Like, and not, we didn't really talk too much about it, and obviously this is still theory at this point, but with the whole fortune telling and everything, that even may be like he's just planning on assassinating the Phantom Troop at this point. No fights at this point. I'm just killing you, and that's where I'm getting my satisfaction.
Yeah. Yeah, and it could also be, I don't see why Hisoka would do this, but I could even see him just being petty, and he's like, I want to recreate what those fortunes said, even though those are so old and outdated. I'm just going to make them happen anyways. Like, that's why I really think Shizuku is the next to go. I've been saying that for a while. I
she's
think
dead. She's so dead.
Yeah, she's so dead. Or Benelinov also, because I mean he's on Hisoka's trail right now.
Yeah.
And I remember when this chapter came out, there was also talks about another translation of that playing solitaire line of interpreting as playing with yourself, which does line more into like where, you know, because Hisoka was using a bunch of like sex analogies in regards to fighting,
course.
so that makes more sense. But you can also read playing with yourself as fighting Bonelinov, who is disguised as me right now, implying that he knows that he's on his trail, which, you know, I still think about that interpretation of it from time to time. Obviously, right now we have really nothing else to work with because it's the last we've seen, but it's possible for sure.
Yeah, it could also be just a simple reference to he knows he can't fight right now and he just has to bide his time at the same time. He's like, hey, look, I can't. Because also there's the whole idea of we still kind of are unsure of exactly how Hisoka is even on, because he's all the way up at tier 1, right? And this is the Hisoka that didn't get the pass from the Mafia. So, right? I'm remembering
you're
right? So, like, there's also the idea of, like, why is he up here? Who is he with on the train, on the boat? And, like, maybe that has to do with why he can't battle specifically right now. He knows he has to play a specific part at the moment. He has to wait. There's so many, like you said, there's just not enough to actually have a concrete idea yet. It's all up to speculation.
Yeah. But it is incredibly interesting with what we're left with. And yeah, so the final little thing to say here is that all the while he's doing this internal monologue, he is being stalked by Benelinov, who has now changed his disguise to Owl of the Shadow Beast.
Let's go.
And
Owl.
yes, I included this just to make Owl of the Shadow Beast the final sentence of this retrospective.
Hey, very smart though. I can't imagine encountering Hisoka as Hisoka would go very well for him, right?
Yeah. So yeah, that's the last we've seen of Hisoka as of now. I anticipate we will see more of him next time we get chapters.
He's gonna play. I mean, Crollo is on the hunt for, you know, those treasures that'll give him the ability he needs to finish him once and for all, right? So. Whenever we start getting new chapters again, I hope it's not that much longer before we start seeing more fruits of this development, right? With Hisoka.
Yeah. I was saying something the other day. I was talking to a friend and we were talking about Net Impact, and I was like, honestly, with how Net Impact had that happen, I'm like, Tagashi has to drop a couple chapters now. He's got to keep the lights on. No one bought Net Impact.
Hey, maybe, that's one way to look at it.
Not that I wish anything bad on Tagashi, but either way.
Of course not. I mean, he's well off. I think financially he's fine, but health-wise, certainly not. But hey, we haven't heard from him in a long-ass time. Who knows how he's doing at this point, honestly. I hope he's fine. I really hope he's fine. But
he might be under treatment again. I know he was busting with like pages and everything out like while the chapters were coming, and then it kind of just went dead. So like,
I think he overdid it.
It wouldn't surprise me. He strikes me as that kind of guy.
Oh, absolutely. All right, so that's Hisoka. Let's just kind of go around the room. Let's just start with you, No Operator, on just general thoughts. Anything you wanted to say that you missed out on during this discussion about Hisoka?
No, I mean, honestly, like we covered like a lot in regards to his character. He is genuinely one of my favorite characters in the essence of he just only wants fights, and he's going to be willing to do anything he wants to get it, but also at the same time he's a smart enough character to be that arrogant and that cocky, where he's not someone that just like has that Goku mentality, but does not have the Goku body to go along with it. If you get what I'm saying, you know. I don't really have much more to add other than I probably haven't already yapped about.
Yeah, fair enough. How about you, Dylan?
Hisoka is such an intriguing, just like character of conflict for me. In shonen in general, I think just a very unique presentation of a character that you don't see a lot out of many other characters you can consider like a villain or just like an antagonist in general, right? Yeah, just a very unique character, and I obviously like he's a very interesting character in terms of presentation as well for a lot of people. Not everybody vibes with them, and I kind of respect that to some degree as well, right? But like I think that's kind of the point. Very creepy, but just a very interesting character who, again, I've been drilling this on and on throughout the discussion, marches to the beat of his own drum, and just that freedom of expression with his ability and just like how he goes about his business in general always leads me to be interested in what he's doing at any given time. And I think that's a standout part of his character throughout all of this, is that no matter where you are in the series, you're always kind of wondering, like similar to like, characters like, Crollo, Kurapika, even at certain points of the series, right? Like you're always in the back of your head thinking, what is Hisoka doing at this point in time? Because everything that he does is very meaningful. And I really appreciate that about him. So definitely up there for, one of my favorite characters in the series.
Yeah, for sure. I'm pretty much on the same boat. I love everything about him except the problematic parts, I guess, but even that contributes to his to something. I don't exactly know how to put it into words, but that is an important aspect to his character too, whether you want to admit it or not. It's just he is a freak. He's an absolute freak of nature, and that's kind of the point. To me he's always been like evil Goku, and I love that. I love how he takes that Goku mentality and flips it to make it into the most like disturbing, twisted thing in the world. Because really, when you boil it down, Goku is a wild ass dude. Like he's putting the whole world at stake so he can get a cool fight in. And Hisoka is no different, but it's portraying that mentality the way it would probably be portrayed in reality, which I think is so cool. And I love that about Hisoka's character. He's always an interesting character to look at, and I never am sad or mad when I see him on the page. I just want to see more of him at all points.
It's very grounded motivation for his character, despite it being like insane how it's presented, right? And that contributes to the uniqueness as well.
Yeah, for sure. All right. I think that's all we got ourselves to say about Hisoka, but I think we can go ahead and transition into seeing what you guys had to say about him.
Yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. I'm excited.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, now it's time to go into community comments this week, talking about our favorite freak, Hisoka. So usual reminder, if you want to get in on the fun discussing any given topic week to week, make sure you keep an eye out for the YouTube community posts, as well as our call-out posts on Twitter and Bluesky. And of course, you can always email us your thoughts at hunterassociationpod@gmail.com. We haven't gotten an email in a while, though, so someone change that, please.
Yeah, that's right.
We're going to start off with a Twitter response. One of my favorites of the entire batch here. Made me laugh the entire day we received it. From a big slimy slime saying, "My nasty, freaky Joker." Heart emoji.
Love it. Big slimy slime. That's a good name.
The one, the only, the original.
I have nothing to add on this, except for saying, thank you for making my entire day laughing just reading this.
It's the little things sometimes, honestly.
Yeah. All right, next up is from Terror of Talos, who says, I don't have a lengthy comment this time, but instead a question. That's rare, by the way, for you. What do you guys think the chances are for a Seri and Hisoka interaction? I personally think they're pretty high, especially after 4 or 5. Incredibly high. I think it will happen.
Yeah,
absolutely.
They've got similar personalities. I'd love to see them just have a conversation with each other.
I think like
Yeah.
also you could read it as like that Nen Beast comment that he made, maybe like as like an argument against that happening because he's not interested in fighting Nen Beast, right? But Sari is a little bit different, right? In that he's kind of developing Nen on his own, independent of that, and I think that would catch Hisoka's attention by a lot.
Oh yeah, Hisoka would catch one glimpse of this guy and be like, "Oh, well, maybe I should get into this Succession War thing. Huh? This is crazy."
Yeah, exactly.
I'm a continuous believer, and Kaige has known this for such a long time now that like that's going to be kind of the link to how like Kurapika and Hisoka potentially get into contact with each other. I'm a full believer that like Hisoka will find his way towards the Reach one way or another.
Yeah, absolutely.
Match made in heaven, honestly.
Yeah, absolutely.
So this one's from Milu Kitty Sono Biscuit. Almost forgot to reply this week too. Lately I don't have much time to write. Sorry it's not very long, but I always listen to the podcast.
Thank you.
He's a creep. I love to hate him. It's a very well done villain, morally gray sometimes since he's completely individualistic and he only does what he thinks is funny, challenging, or interesting to him. Definitely, does not follow the law nor the common sense or ethics in his actions. That's something that I wanted to say earlier. It's like he doesn't care about what normal society is. He goes, I'm gonna do what I want to do, and I don't care what anybody thinks. And it's definitely, while it can be problematic, definitely respectable still kind of attitude to have.
Yeah.
Right.
And will only follow rules to engage in his ultimate goals, which are not so logical, by the way. But he don't need no fairly smart plan to follow. He goes with the flow. It's very interesting to me to watch him furious at Crollo for neglecting the battle in his mind, since he is only fueled by this absurd desire to fight. Crollo first at the end of York New and then at Heaven's Arena, not being able or not wanting to comply with his wishes leaves him in a state of confusion and wrath later on. It's so interesting. He only develops some kind of hatred after dying. And it's such a cool character. Damn, I wish he wasn't a freaky creep towards the kids, but I admit it fits his weirdness.
Yeah.
Right.
Nail on the head.
It's just a part of him. He's an absolute freak. We're not supposed to exactly like him. We can be interested in him, but I don't think if you like genuinely like Hisoka and you think he's like a great dude, I think there's a few problems that are going on in your life.
Might be a disconnect there.
Yeah.
Might be missing the subtext. I think Togashi's trying to get across. But who are we? Death of the author, right? You know?
Right. Oh yes, thank you for that comment, Milu Kitty.
Thank you. All right, next up, we have a comment from Isa saying, I think Hisoka might be the best character in Hunter x Hunter Togashi has created. I also feel like after Kurapika's storyline, we need to get a Leorio storyline, and after that, give us a Hisoka-focused story. Oh, okay.
Wow, yeah. That'd be
Hisoka
pretty
point
crazy.
of view would go hard.
Yeah.
It's a believer that Hisoka doesn't die on the boat, I guess. Yeah, we're kind of already getting that, but I would love so much more. Yeah, that's completely fair. I'd love to see more too. Do you all think we're getting the real Hisoka versus Gon fight in the story? Both of them going all out. I feel like that'd be, oh my gosh. If Hisoka's story doesn't wrap up with the Phantom Troop, I think it's only fitting that it ends with
the Naruto versus Sasuke of Hunter x Hunter.
Yeah. Right at the last minute.
But that means we also have to get Gon back in the story. So
right. There's a lot of dominoes that need to fall to make that happen. So
it's his first battle after he fights Gyro, you know?
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah.
I maybe someday, but yeah, a lot of dominoes have to fall for
yeah,
that
it's hard to imagine it happening at the current rate things are playing out, but
certainly
I do think if this story does get to finish, I think probably something akin to that will happen. I mean, Hisoka does say that the next time they fight will be a battle of death, which implies to us the reader that there will be another fight. But also Togashi loves to not do things that he said he would do.
It would be insane to me. Hisoka surviving Dark Continent. It would be insane to me surviving past that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But who knows? Who knows where?
Who knows?
Yeah, especially
that's the moral of the story.
Especially where we're at on the
POV.
boat. Yeah.
Yes, I do. Like, we already got a taste of it with Crollo versus Hisoka, and that was so incredible. I would love a whole arc where he is the point of view character, and we're getting in his head all the time. Also, just 405 was incredible too. That was like a whole chapter in his head. All right, next is from Emma Kiefers. Says, I'll keep it short. Togashi made the impossible possible. He made a clown hot. Plus, the anime gave him that incredible flamenco theme music. God bless. Yeah. The 2011 theme is hard. It's so good. Yeah, it's one of the best tracks in the series.
I gotta listen to it. I've heard the 2011 soundtrack goes really good. I've heard it. I heard it's really good. I gotta check it out.
It's iconic.
It's very, very good. Yeah.
Wow.
All right, and this one is this comes from Vernier Boss. Weird, mysterious, and gets a kick in battle. One of the best antagonists in manga and anime. Hisoka was my favorite character before Saridnik came in. I'm curious what would be, or Saradnik, whatever. I'm gonna get crucified.
It's like a billion different pronunciations.
Just say it however you want, man. It's fine.
It's one of those names that no one knows how to truly say. It doesn't matter. I'm curious what would be Hisoka and Saradnik's interaction would be. It's so funny because like I would love, like we were saying before, like these two smoke demons just going up against each other, like these two, Saradnik with his insane potential, and like maybe that's what like it would be so interesting if Hisoka died almost similarly to Crollo, how he died with Crollo, right? He bites off more than he can chew. He's like, you know what? I'm here to kill the Phantom Troop, but this guy, man, he just seems so interesting. Let me fight him, and then that's how he goes. Like that would be, like I would be sad to see him go, but like I feel like that's such a Hisoka way to go out, and that would be insane. It would also be such a big up for Saradnik at the same time to be like, dang, this guy took Hisoka out. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I find that timeline really funny to think about, because imagine Crollo going through all the effort he's about to go through to get this, like, sacred treasure or whatever, and then just have Hisoka not be able to be fought.
But that's so Togashi, right? Like, I could see it happening, to be honest.
And that could lead to even more of a downward spiral of Crollo. Like, there's something there. There's something
losing
there
his purpose more and more. Yeah, he's just losing it.
But yeah, on the flip side of like Saridnik like being like catching Hisoka's attention, like I feel like it almost vice versa would happen as well, surely, right? Like, you know, Saridnik, we've been shown, kind of wants to keep upping the ante with like him learning that and continually test himself, right? Hisoka would fit the bill pretty well for that, I think, given his trajectory at the moment. I
was just gonna say there's some credence to that, because I mean Hisoka is a known floor master for Heaven's Arena, and if Saridnik were to find out that he's on the boat, he would be like, oh, okay, so this is like a known strong guy. I'll bring him in and let's see how I do against him.
Yeah. He could easily just like tell his like royal guards or whatever, like, no, go find Hisoka, go find this man, bring him to me. You know?
Yeah.
And it's like just to cap off on that, we could get to the next comment. Like I think like that would be, actually, you know what? I actually completely forgot what I was gonna say, so we can move on.
Happens almost every single episode.
I literally was like, I've got
that
this
happens
big
to
thing.
me all the time, but I kind of try to play it off.
You know what? That's literally what I was trying to do, and I was just like, I can't think of a single thing to say. I'm just admitting it.
Well,
big ups for admitting it, man. I've never done that once before, but that inspired me to start. Maybe I'll start admitting it.
I was just trying to. There was no way out of that. There was no way out.
Well, on that note, thank you, Bernier, for that comment. We'll move on to the next one now. From Bryson Bhatti, saying, so I watched Hunter x Hunter with my girlfriend, and she had never seen it, and I'd already seen it. She loved Hisoka immediately, and I started laughing, and she was confused. I told her, well, he's definitely a problematic character. And she's like, well, he's a villain, I figured. Yeah, I mean, he is a villain. So, like, to an extent, right. It's like, it's just kind of who he is, right?
I feel like when people hear that, though, they're not expecting what happens with him to happen.
No, definitely not.
Not at all. Not at all.
Then when it got to... Oh, go ahead.
There was a popular creator that just like did like a tweet watch through, and they were like, "Oh, I love Hisoka. Why does everyone say he's problematic? What do you mean?" And then literally like the next day, they were like, "Oh, I got to the scene. Never mind."
Yeah.
Similarly here. Then when we got to those parts, she's like, "Oh, I get what you mean now." Is it bad? I still kind of like him.
Oh, I think that happens. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think
That's
that
how it
sums
goes.
up how a lot of people feel about Hisoka.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right there, exactly. Yeah, it's
As long as you can acknowledge that it's problematic, I think you're fine.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that just goes to show how much of an intriguing character he is despite that, right?
Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
Next up is from Planetary Pluto, who says, I think he is one of, if not Hunter x Hunter's most versatile character in terms of what role he can play in the story. That's very true. He's like the embodiment of a wild card.
Yeah.
Is he Morena's actual wild/Joker card? Probably. Well, we've talked about that pretty extensively. There's so many possibilities with that. I'm honestly on the opinion of no, it is not him, but who knows? Maybe.
We could get swerved very easily, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. His arc's a roller coaster. But I could just as easily see him
Ingratiating.
ingratiating. What is that word? I don't know that word.
Well, Kaige.
Oh,
I don't know either,
Bringing up the
so.
thesaurus. Okay, let's see.
Wait. Ingratiating, right? That's what the
That's
what was said.
what the word is. Yeah.
It basically just
intended-
means like embedding. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Intended to gain
Oh,
approval or favor.
Okay, that's a good word.
Yeah, word of the day. Ingratiating.
Yeah, there we go. Ingratiating himself with any of the princes. Yeah. How he got on the boat and how he got to tier 1 is such a huge mystery, and I really just don't know. I do feel like it has to be like one of the princes somehow or another got him that far. I just don't know who or why. I don't think we have enough information to fill in the puzzle pieces yet.
I mean, it could be as simple as, like you said, like maybe Serednik literally was like, hey, like that guy's a floor master. I like him. Send him up to tier 1. And that's why he's like, I can't battle right now. I'm waiting for my appointment, or like what, you know what I mean? Like, who knows what it could be? But like, like you said, it really could be any, because he's such a versatile character, because he fits so well in really any position, that makes it so impossible to tell what prince or would he be helping Marina? Would he not be helping? Like, he really could go anywhere.
Yeah.
That's the kind of character he is. He can play the hero. He can play the villain. He could play both at the same time. It doesn't matter. Whatever makes the most sense to him at the time.
Yeah, 100%.
Exactly.
All right. We're moving on.
Yeah.
Okay. Next one is from Yokoso KJ71IJ. Unlike what's usually rumored, Hisoka did in fact really enjoy his fight with Crollo. One could even say he even enjoyed it too much, if you know what I mean. Yeah, well.
Another iconic panel.
Yes.
He reached the highest points of satisfaction, well, until he lost. Then he suddenly forgot about what was fulfilled by Crollo, who's an opponent chosen by Hisoka while knowing that his literal ability is the usage of other people's abilities. Hisoka is simply a sore loser.
I mean, kind of.
Okay, yeah, I definitely agree with that to a degree for sure. He said,
Yeah.
I'll lose, but I don't want to lose this way.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're kind of right. I don't personally like that read of it, but you're not wrong, so I can't really argue against it all that much. So
I read it as just like he just wants more, basically, right? And he'll do whatever he can to get more of that, even if it means playing his own game now and hunting all the spiders to, set up something further.
It depends on what battle you consider Hisoka lost. Did he lose? He might have lost the Battle of Heaven's Arena. Did he lose the Battle of Life? I don't know. It doesn't seem like it. So technically, he didn't lose yet. He's still he's still on the board.
yeah, to him the battle's not even over.
Yeah, to be continued. We'll get back to it.
Yeah, that was just part 1.
Because it was a battle to the death. That's what they declared, and nobody died.
Well, I mean, never mind. It's technical.
I didn't hear no bell. That's exactly what Hisoka's going to see. That's why it's on site from this point on. That's why Hisoka's not. He said, "Hey, we're in the fight now. It never ended. That's why I'm not even giving you a chance."
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
You're going to include all your friends? All right, bet. I'm going to kill him.
Yeah.
Thank you for the comment, though.
Yes.
Moving on to Dub Salamander saying, "Did you know that bungee gum has the properties of both rubber and gum?" No, I didn't,
Hell yeah.
actually. But for real, Hisoka is one of, if not my favorite Hunter x Hunter characters. I just really appreciate that he's never looking for an easy fight. He always just wants to run your fade if he thinks you're strong. Not to mention he literally revived himself like a Nell, restarting his heart and lungs with post-mortem. Or revived himself like a Nell. Nell never really revived himself in One Piece, right?
Yeah, I don't recall that happening, but
He was just kind of immortal, right? Like, he couldn't really be hit.
he's just
Anyways.
like untouchable to anybody but Luffy. Yeah, whatever. This isn't a One Piece podcast.
Yeah. Maybe one day. Restarting his heart and lungs with post-mortem Nen so he can have that fight with Crollo again. Obviously, I don't condone his actions regarding minors. I sure hope not.
I love including that.
Gotta add a disclaimer afterwards.
Gotta add it in.
but every genius is a little mentally psycho. Sure, yeah. IMO, he's a better Nen genius than Gon and Killua because he didn't exactly have a proper Nen teacher like Gon. He is almost entirely self-taught. Not really confirmed, I guess, but yeah, we can kind of read it as that, just like from how
Yeah,
he
we don't
carries
really
himself.
know that unless you're taking the one shot as canon. But even then, he had a teacher. He just kind of sucked.
Yeah, I know there's the one shot of his backstory, but I don't know if that's 100% canon. Either way, I think it's not. It's almost assuredly not canon.
I don't
Well,
want it
guess
to be,
Yeah.
but that's our hot take.
Either way, I think he's more impressive than our two protagonists. I mean, yeah, just like that's his character.
Well,
in general.
yeah.
Like, he's kind of like a level above
He's-
them at all times.
For a while, he was the pinnacle
Yeah.
to us, but like the wall
Oh.
kept rising.
Right. Speaking of protagonists, I heard someone say that there's a pattern of birthdays with the four main protagonists, and Hisoka also falls into the same pattern, so he's kind of considered the fifth protagonist in some way.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
For
I
sure.
actually haven't heard of that before. That's interesting.
I love that.
Anyway, keep up the great vids, you guys. There's never enough Hunter x Hunter content. Thank you very much.
True.
Hey,
Appreciate that.
thank you. We're trying our best.
Yeah, keeping the train going.
That's right. All right, next is
stuff.
from Invalid B. Big. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You got it. Big is civitivity? I don't
Invalid
man.
beg
All right.
activity. That's how I'm
Okay. There you go. Whatever. All right. Thank you. Anyways, spoilers for the manga, including the most recent chapters. Him almost getting himself swatted into oblivion, which would happen so fast he wouldn't even manage to start enlightening us on the properties of Bungee Gum by Netero, is probably my favorite moment in the manga and anime. Mainly due to it gaining significance much later. But you've done a Netero retrospective already, so let's stick to Hisoka. Yeah, we actually did talk about that scene a lot in the Netero retrospective.
We did.
It could have worked here too. Really, really want to see him messing people up at the Black Whale, especially the Phantom Troop members. Crollo rematch, I need it.
Don't we all?
I'm gonna need you
Well-
to do that in the SpongeBob voice, sir. That's the way they commented it.
Well, I can't do a SpongeBob impression, unfortunately. My voice doesn't go quite that high.
One day we'll get
Yeah, I think. Oh yeah, one day we'll get me to do a SpongeBob impression.
Yes.
Huh? When will that happen? What day is that?
everyone
I'll
has
mark
to.
it on my calendar.
Don't worry, our viewers will make it happen somehow.
Okay. Just gonna keep putting SpongeBob quotes in the
Ex-
comments until I do it.
Let's
You
go.
heard it here first, guys.
Well, yeah. Anyways, great comment. I also would love to see that rematch. Will it happen? It's really hard to say. I honestly, my heart tells me no. I can't elaborate, but I just feel like it's not gonna happen.
It's you
Yeah.
trying to set yourself up for a positive surprise.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe instinctually that's what's happening.
I just feel like Tagashi wouldn't Tagashi already the way that Tagashi does his fights, he's so sparing with them. To imagine him doing a whole another Hisoka versus Crollo fight, it's just a little unbelievable. Maybe we might get them encountering each other really quickly again, but having them go through a whole one-on-one rematch, I agree with you. It's just kind of as great as it would be. It just seems so it just seems like we're asking for too much.
Yeah, and Togashi's a guy who doesn't like to tread the same water. I feel like he'd rather do something new than do the same thing again. But at the same time, a rematch between those two kind of would be something new because the circumstances would be entirely different. He's not going to be able to use any of the abilities he used the first time except for Sun and the Moon. So it would be a different fight, but I don't know if Togashi exactly sees it that way. Maybe he does, and we will get that rematch, but who knows? You can never predict Togashi. It's impossible.
No. Mm-mm.
Yeah.
And then the last comment is from oh no, I'm sorry, we got more.
Yeah, we got 2 more after this. Yeah.
And so this comment is from Leo BSMY. He's such a disturbing and fun character. It's always going to be interesting when he's involved, for better or for worse. On one hand, I'm just waiting for him to finally be killed off, but then again, I really want to see the next chaotic situation he creates. Dang, that's crazy.
Wow, that is crazy.
By far not my favorite character in the series, but such an important part of it. I can't wait to see how much and simply how he's going to be involved in the current overlapping conflicts. If it's going to be restricted to the revenge plot, which I don't think is likely, or if he's going to get involved with some other big players. Yeah, I definitely think he's going to be more involved in than just the revenge for sure. He's going to get into some hijinks without a doubt.
Oh yeah, it's the way I envision the rest of his story in this arc going is partially hunting down the troop, but I also see him getting distracted by something, whether it be the Mafia Wars or the Secession Contest. It could be anything, or all of the above, honestly.
The revenge plot is like the skeleton of it all, but I definitely see him going on a side quest at some point.
Oh yeah, he's not going to be able to help himself. There's so much happening on this boat. It's just like a smorgasbord for him. He wants to eat a little bit of everything.
When an entire theme of this arc is just Nen potential, you can't help but think Hisoka will get wrapped up in it somehow.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Big prediction. Next story arc for Hisoka, buddy cop with Leorio on Dark Continent.
Please, genius. I would love it.
I'd love it too.
But I really appreciate characters that I despise so strongly while still being glued to the screen when they appear, just because it's so gripping. Same. Those are some of the best villains. The villains you could be like, wow, I hate this person so much, but every time they're on the screen, the plot is just moving.
Yeah, and that's Hisoka to a T.
Mm-hmm.
He's used very effectively.
Yeah.
With the exception, I guess, of the 13th chairman election. That's more of a filler inclusion, if you want to call it that. But I mean, he's still definitely, he doesn't really move much along. He's just there for his own reasons.
Yeah.
Whatever. One exception is fine.
Okay. So next up we have insert name with a not that long comment this week. So
yeah, thank you, insert name. We appreciate that.
That being said, for the sake of time, I do have to speed through it a little bit still. So sorry. But Hisoka is the defining character of Hunter x Hunter, in my opinion, and embodies and facilitates a lot of the unique aspects of the series. There really isn't any other battle shonen that has quite the same sort of role of auxiliary main character that he inhabits and represents a lot of the unique story structure of the show. The way he gets focus and maneuvers between ally and foe is seamless and refreshing. Absolutely, could not agree more.
Mm-hmm.
His personality is simultaneously whimsical and fundamentally warped, providing a duality of tone that both embodies and foreshadows the darkness and whimsy of the story. He is the first indication and a resounding reflection of how Nen rewards the ambitions of malice and bloodlust as much as conviction and moral strength.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Goes back to that scene with Netero even, where Netero doesn't give a shit that he wants to kill people without any consequence, right? He's fundamentally going to be a good hunter despite the malice and bloodlust, right? So first indication of that for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And his abilities are some of the best designs in a series known for great combat design. In shonen battle, you want your protagonist to have flexible designs and facilitate interesting fights with good clash, and his abilities are some of the best, being interesting and robust, but letting other abilities showcase what they are, while expanding on Hisoka's personality and facilitating knowledge of the power system. I'd argue it's through Hisoka we are giving visual instruction on the principles of Nen that make the system comprehensible, and this will be super relevant to future comments I have on 1999's Heaven's Arena. That's exciting.
We're looking forward to it then. Yeah.
Oh wow.
But yeah, I the boys literally do learn Nen through watching Hisoka's fight with Castro. So I mean, what you're saying there is very literal. Yeah, he is an avenue of introducing Nen to both our protagonists and us, because it's the first time we see a Nen battle between two skilled Nen users. quote unquote skilled in Castro's case. He's just kind of pretending to be skilled.
Yeah.
Fodder in our eyes still, obviously. But it's through Hisoka that we see kind of just the practical use of like, all right, here's what Nen can like really do, right? And that's super cool for sure.
Yeah, I also love that you mentioned his whimsical, personality. That's the one that I love about a lot of characters when they're just like because there's a way to do Hisoka's character where it's super serious, but then there's another way where they did it and he's just like super funny, lackadaisical, and just like very much like very casual about everything, and that's what I love.
Yeah, it's just really endearing in like a very unique way. He's just you can't help but be interested in what he's saying or doing at any given moment.
He's always having fun.
That's right. Yeah, it's captivating. All right, and lastly here to bring it all home, we have WL7918 saying, not sure if it was mentioned, but a hidden fact about his Nen ability is that it has the properties of both rubber and gum.
Whoa.
I didn't know that. Whoa.
That's a fun
that
fact.
changes everything.
Yeah, just ignore this entire discussion that we had on this character. This changes.
I thought we were talking about Hisoka.
Yeah. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. It's a whole new character.
Go reread the series, guys, with this context in your mind.
It changes everything.
All right, I think that's all we got for comments then, right?
Yeah, that's all for community comments this week. I'll give the usual reminder as well. Again, if you want to get in on the fun on any given discussion week to week, make sure you keep an eye out for the YouTube community posts or the call-out posts on Twitter and Bluesky. And of course, you could always email us your thoughts at hunterassociationpod@gmail.com.
That's right. And with that, this has been the Hunter Association. Thank you so much for listening. We are available on all major podcasting platforms as well as YouTube for the video version. Be sure to follow, rate, review, and comment on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. You can also follow us on Twitter at TXHXPod as well as Bluesky at THAPod for updates on the show and as an alternative way to submit responses to the weekly call-out posts. As always, we'll be here the same time every week talking about Hunter x Hunter. No Operator, thank you so much for coming back on the show. This was a great discussion. We had a great time. Where can people find you online?
Thank you so much for having me. It was a pleasure to come back. I really do appreciate it. Love talking about Hisoka. You can find me at on YouTube.com at No Operator. But most of my Hunter x Hunter and manga content is on at No More Operator on YouTube.com.
Okay, I'll link both in the description.
You don't have to. You can just do the main one. I appreciate you.
Okay, well, all right.
Do what you want.
Dylan,
who am I? Do what you want, but I appreciate the politeness.
Of course.
I'm not trying to be greedy.
I get it.
No worries.
And Dylan, where can people find you online?
You can find me online at DJ Tengen. That's DJTENGEN on both Twitter and Bluesky. I'm a huge nerd, obviously, so go give me a follow if you're interested in what I'm doing.
Hell yeah, and you can find me on Bluesky and YouTube at Manga Kaige. I talk about manga.
Wow, shocker, yeah.
Yeah, would you
As
ever
big
have
as
guessed
a
that?
surprise as the properties of rubber and gum.
That's right. Also, real quick before we wrap up, reminder, we are changing the recording time as of next week to Friday. So you'll have like half a day less to put in your responses.
Yeah, Friday nights is when we're aiming to record. So be sure to get in your responses.
As long as Kaige posts on Monday, right?
Yeah,
as long I got him. Yeah, thank you for saying that. Actually, that'll light a fire in my pants.
Yeah. So you're gonna have until Friday nights generally to get in your responses. So just keep that in mind going forward for the foreseeable future.
Yes. And as for the rest of the show, next week, we, of course, will be continuing Hunter x Hunter 1999 with episodes 34 through 36, which will wrap up the Zoldyck family arc. So it brings us one step closer to Nen. Very excited. Can't wait to see it.
And just later this month now that we'll be getting the Heavens Arena. So very exciting.
Yes. Yeah. And that's all we got for you guys this week. Thank you once again, No Operator, for coming on. And thank you all for listening and watching. And we'll see you guys next time.
See you next time. Sorry for the dog ruining the very end here.
It happens.